11:11. Who would have thought it? Hi Brody, how are you? Just a random live today. Hi guys. I'm better today. I had a bit of a day yesterday. I put up that video of just going through a bit of like tapping into some old stuff that I didn't realize that was there, or that I didn't feel it and was important, and it coming up and being quite important in the moment. So, but heaps better today. So I wanted to come forward and just have a chat, have a live, see what the cards say. It's just pretty casual, nothing too, intense. Talk about healing if you want to know, if you want to ask about a healing journey or ask about any techniques and stuff to move out of places where we feel really stuck or heavy, feel free to ask me. But yeah, I just wanted to chat and see how everyone's doing energetically, because I know that was a bit of a wobble, but there's a lot going astrologically. We have to understand, as above so below, as within so without, as the universe so the soul. So as the universe stretches and flexes, so too does the inner self stretching and flexing, or contracting and releasing and expanding within us. So there's a lot of things that will come up, because the more we clear, or like that old energetic stuff that sits in us, and some of us have had that for a long time, a long time of sitting with this energy that was quite heavy and not being able to allow it to move or know how to move it and shift it. And the more we clear, the more we receive. We're open to receive. So it's learning to be empty and realize that the emptiness, everyone will think that being empty is like being detached and nothing, but it's actually a fullness that we'll kind of really struggle to understand as a human being, because we fill our lives with so much stuff. We're so used to filling it, that void, that hole, with stuff, and not in a bad way, but energetically filling stuff into us without realizing that we actually have to push it out to be free, to know true freedom and knowledge within the soul space. So yeah, sorry, that was a long answer. But I wanted to read this card real quick because I'm just shuffling and it dropped out, and I feel like it's a good time to read it while everyone's coming in. Give it a bit of time. So if you'd like to ask me any questions, feel free to do so. Anything that's not weird, okay guys, if you're going to be weird, feel free to move on. So I got this card which says, release the dark wound, let love live. This is just a random, I'm just reading this. And it says, if we detach something from its source too soon, trying to force it to become what it is not yet ready or willing to become, we can unintentionally sap it of its strength and kill it. There is a dark wound in the consciousness of humanity which demands perfection and denies process. If you are thinking of publishers before you have even written the book, if you are comparing your unfinished song to the latest best-selling pop release, If you have decided you are not good enough or worthy enough to succeed before you've given it everything you've got and asked for divine help, then this dark wound has you in its grasp. You have to let go of the death grip of perfectionism and let yourself and your ideas live. Love is abundant, creative, and inspiring. It moves us so much more joyously and creatively than fear. You are being asked to honor the path of your own love. What inspires you? What feels exciting, joyful, and perhaps even rather different? Let that live. Release the dark wounding of false belief. There are countless stories of vastly successful artists who very nearly binned the project that was the making of their career because of the despair fostered by their own dark nature. They doubted. They were uncertain. Was their work any good? Was it useless? They struggled to believe in the right of a work to come to life, whether it was accepted, revered, or rejected by others, or not. They nearly lost their work to fear. Undoubtedly, there have been many times when this has actually happened and the work was not saved and not allowed to live. Do not let this happen to you. Whether something is meant to be a commercially oriented venture, or more personal creation of your own, therapeutic healing. It must be allowed to be without judgment, without criticism, even without premature evaluation. It is allowed to be what it is, and only time, love, patience, and attention will reveal it. If this card has been drawn along with this is a different guidance. Okay. These are other cards that come out with it. There's a healing process with it. And it says, I now choose of my own free will to release all cellular memories and belief systems based in the dark wound of criticism, judgment, shaming, and fear, so that my creative, loving energy may thrive in a nourishing environment conducive to growth through all time and space, through all dimensions of my being, through unconditional love, so be it. And I actually really like that. And I think that's learning that's learning to move past insecurities and just letting yourself be and letting everything that you want to be. You know what I mean? Hi. And a lot of us, we all try to be, I suppose, if you think about it, we all try to be better or best at what we do, or we want to be the best, or we want to be acknowledged for our skill set. And a lot of the times that we grow the most in our skill set, that mastery space, is when we actually just learn to sit in the energy of being here and now and enjoying that space for ourselves, just for ourselves, without trying too hard to be better than anyone else and not comparing ourselves to others. Because I used to do that. I used to do that a lot when I first started reading and I didn't know, and always felt like somebody else's reading was better than mine. But we all read energy, spirit, intuition differently, because we'll have different. Hi there. Hi guys. Sorry, I'm just talking away. We all have different ways of seeing our truth, and not everybody's going to see your truth from your perspective. So other people that are out there, they're all teaching us something from their perspective. And I feel like if you really step back from the person you put out there and step behind all of that, you realize that, all the teachings that you've learned in your life from other people, all the messages that you're receiving are all going back to one source, right? That is behind you. It's almost like there's you that people see, there's a you that's inside, but there's another person behind you watching over both. And when we step back from the ego, which is the front, the mask that people see, and step into the inner, we also realize that there's something more, different, stronger, more powerful behind us that is watching over everything that we do. So it's all about, you know, like for me, sometimes I'm super bright and light, and I share my messages, and it's positive and it's good. And then I also share times when I'm not good, to show the balance and the reality. Oops, is that music too loud? And you know, there's always a counterbalance, and you just have to understand that, even in for people that have done a lot of healing and that are really light, there's this these high heights that you can reach, but we have to understand that we also have to know the deep depths of who we are, and sometimes those depths aren't so pretty. And but also in that time still understand that you can still be you and share that. You know, that's what I mean. Everyone wants to always come forward when they're, you know, like put up selfies of when they're smiling, and happy, and not taking pictures and sharing pictures of themselves. You know, you see that now as everyone's starting to realize that to really connect, we have to show the vulnerable stages as well. And that goes with whatever work we're in. You know, if we don't know how to um, understand that we don't have to be perfect, you know, every little stutter, because sometimes I stutter when I say things, but or say the wrong word that's actually the right word, and that I'm trying to go over the top of it. So it's you know, it's like letting the soul learn how to speak. I'm just talking right now. I will be doing pulling cards later on if you're patient, but I usually like to talk. So if anyone's been with me before, they usually know I like to have a bit of a chat and talk about stuff, energetically and spiritually before I get in. It's just allowing you to get to know what my energy is like, where I come from. You know, it's sort of like having a visit instead of just pushing in through the door and throwing all these messages at you. That's not usually how I like to do it. I'll be taking names soon, just have to be patient. But I know there's a lot of other tarot card readers if you want a message right now, that you can jump into and have a look at. But for me, I usually do them free anyway, so, you know, feel free to, when I do ask for names, to come forward and ask for a reading. Yeah, it's okay to wait. It's sort of like sometimes I can talk and it'll ramble. It'll feel like rambling. I don't answer those kind of questions, Jessica, because I don't tap into your energy like that. Hi, Snowbird. Nice to meet you. Thanks, Brody. I try my best, but I get quite nervous. So you have to understand that I like to talk to ease it all. Hi there. Thank you for the follow. To ease it all back, because sometimes there's a lot of energy, and it allows me to. Oh, hi, love Drury. Allows me to just calibrate to where everyone's at energetically, because I'm really sensitive to energy. I'm from New Zealand, Aotearoa. Thanks for the follow. So yeah, so yesterday I went through a really strong healing clearing, I want to say, and it was a lot of old stuff that I thought I'd brought forgiveness to. And it's funny too, because the last lot of readings that I did, the big readings, it was a lot about struggling with forgiveness. And so I had something came up, it kind of triggered me. It was like I got asked away into a conversation, just from my perspective, and in weighing into that conversation, the context of it, it put me in a space of remembering when I was young. Now, my childhood wasn't very good. There was a lot of violence in my childhood. So when it took me there, it also took me to a space of being that child again. And I started to have a panic attack. And it's been a long time since that's actually, that's a realness of healing. And it's been a long time since I've been in that space. because the people that I thought would support me in my life didn't know that I was suffering, you know. And it's learning to, I had forgiven a lot of things, but there were like this anger started swelling up inside me, and I couldn't breathe because of it. Just a lot of injustice. And then when I started to feel like, here's the thing, when you start having a panic attack, the room gets smaller, the room gets darker. It's like that. And I started to feel like I was hyperventilating. And in that moment of feeling so contracted and so compressed in myself, I asked for help. I literally asked, I said, I need help. You know, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. I need help. I need support. And straight away, the energy of my grandmother comes in, and she puts her hands on my heart and on my stomach. And she tells me to let it happen. And then she also, because one of my guides and one of my guardians is my grandmother, who has always come through my spiritual journey. As soon as I became awakened, she was noticeable to me as an energy, or at least the energy of my grandmother, and told me that I had to let this go, that this had to be cleared out of my body, and also to remind me that sometimes trauma is like a physical injury, and that it needs time and it needs healing, and for us to allow that time and healing, and that she was here with me and that I wasn't alone. Because a lot of that, when you go into those spaces, when you remember old trauma, is you go back to feeling alone. Yeah, what it is, it's just this really intense energy. And the thing is, well, how I perceive light and dark energy is that dark energy is just as good for us as light energy. So dark energy and light energy are the same team. It's just different experiences. And I'm talking about energy, not entities. Very different. So the energy of darkness can often come in to allow us to find the light. So we have to realize that dark energy comes in for healing. It feels dark. That's what I mean, like that. To allow us to grow. Those are growing phases. So I had to go through a clearing to release, you know, more and more that has been like energy that's been sitting in me that now needs to be free because I don't resonate with it. And it was a lot. And I have actually cleared a lot of energy out of me that no longer resonated with me, or I no longer identified with, and brought love and forgiveness to that space as well, because there was a lot of emotional turmoil. Like, it was like literally a punch in the guts of healing. and just letting myself cry it out, letting myself be sad, because a lot of us, we learn that when we feel sad, it's negative for us, and it is an indicator that we're going through stuff. But if we just allow that without bringing shame or trying to push it through faster, without allowing it to do its process through us, we're skipping steps. And the thing about healing old trauma is that it's a full process. If you don't fully process that pain out, whatever's left over will sit with you again, and it will show itself again. So you have to fully let that process of healing happen, and allow it to pass through you and out of you. And it's sort of like surrendering to it, but also knowing that you're loved and that you're safe. That's one thing you have to realize, is when you say you're safe, or acknowledge to yourself that, you know, I'm safe, your root chakra becomes active and it connects. So it holds you, right? It holds you to the earth, to all that is real and good in your life. And it gives you power. And it sort of like allows you to know that your body wants to get rid of stuff. It does. Energy, because we are really we're electric beings. We're energetic beings. And as we become more soul orientated and tap more into that soul consciousness, our vibration will start rising and wanting to clear dense energies that no longer resonate with us. And when it comes to healing, it's not fun. And I'll say that over and over again. Healing is not fun. It is not fun at all. But if you don't know how to process that healing to its full capacity, it will keep coming to visit you over and over again. And it nearly got me because it was a lot. It was a lot from my past that, I wasn't. I was not prepared, and I'm going to say that I was not prepared for it. It sideswiped me, and when I got stuck in the mind loop of my thoughts, and then stuck into a memory that felt so real, like I was living it. I was in that memory. I was stuck in it, and I was reliving it over and over, suffering, you know. And then when it became too much, and that compression of that, it was like as my heart started to close and guard itself, I realized in that moment, it's almost like when it was going like this, there's my heart inside, and it's just about to go boom. I asked for support, and when I asked for support, Spirit opened it up, and that allows me to process it, boom, fully, because your spiritual team never leaves you. And this is one thing you have to understand, is that a lot of us aren't aware that we have spiritual guides that stay with us all the time, or whenever they sense that we need them. And they don't judge us. They don't, you see all those messages, I've seen this before, where they kind of like go, oh, she's making a mistake. They don't do that, because they only see you in love, because where they're coming from is love vibration. So that's source energy. They only see you in love. Yes, everyone does. You should. Here's a really cool thing that you can ask for. And I've done this, and this is how I really know that my spirit goes with me all the time, is that I asked for a sign that I could understand clearly. A sign, and it was a specific sign. And, I had asked for a sign from my spirit guides to let me know that they were there. And it was weird because I was thinking about fairies in my mind's eye. Let me see a fairy or something. And then about 3 or 4 hours later, to sort of let it go and carried on with my day, I went to my friend's house, and as soon as I got there, I was given by her daughter a little fairy statue. And she said, I wanted to give it to you. And it was a fairy. It was like, oh my God, it's a fairy. And just things like that, like synchronicities and signs like that. It's just like boom. And that was for me to know that they were with me, and that I could have confidence in. Yeah, butterflies are beautiful. I follow them. I'm 43 years old, and every time I see a butterfly, I always stop and go, oh, butterflies. But yeah, it's oh, morning, Kita. Yeah, so like things like that have allowed me to know that my spiritual team are with me, and they're listening, and that when I ask for clear, specific, like it's because a lot of us do it subconsciously, and when we do it subconsciously, we don't know what we're asking for, because it's not brought to the light, it's not conscious. Yeah, I usually see butterflies as loved ones and or ancestors, because it's more about the transformative space, right, with the butterfly, miracles and transformation. I would, but each of us to our own. We're allowed to believe in signs and synchronicities, and how we think their meaning goes. We're allowed to have that. If it means something to you, but it means something to someone else, that's okay, because that's exactly what it means. Because we're, like I said, we're all allowed our own perspective and our own truths. We're all allowed that. And when we learn to accept that we're all seeing it from a specific 360 degrees, we're not seeing it from that same degree of sight. We're literally seeing it from around 360 degrees, because behind all of us, all the information, all the experiences, all the things that we know and see go back to something else behind us. But it's more like it's with us, which is source energy, or they're all seeing I would say, like that creative space. Am I religious? I was raised Christian, but my religion, I'm not religious. No, I'm going to say no. I'm spiritual, and I still have really strong foundations when it comes to my belief systems, but in the same respect, I'm flexible. I think we can allow ourselves to believe in something and still be flexible with it as well. So I can hold two ideals, and even though they may contradict each other, still accept both as being real for me. Yeah, yep. Butterflies usually mean transformation and learning to fly, because it's everyone always associates the butterfly with, you have to understand the butterfly goes through an evolution. I always called it the evolution of the butterfly. And I now have a lot of videos on that from a couple of years ago on my Facebook page. And it talks about, at first we're the caterpillar, we're just mindlessly consuming, eating our way through life, getting fatter and fatter. And then spirit, it's almost like we hit a space where spirit says, now it's time to grow. And we naturally just do it in our own time and at our own pace. We naturally just go, we choose to go into the cocoon. But in the cocoon is the hardest space, because that is where the caterpillar dies and changes and turns to goo, and like it's a whole transformation. Isn't pretty, but the results are. And we all have to, it's the changing, that twisting and changing of who we are and shape shifting into something more beneficial to us. And then we have to go through the cocoon stage, right? Change, transform, and then claw our way out. Find our way out, burst out of that cage or prison, and then learn to fly. So, like the butterfly doesn't just emerge and then start flying. It actually has to learn to. It has to hydrate its wings and open its wings, and then learn to use them. And but the thing is, the cool thing is about the butterfly is that it remembers being the caterpillar. So it never lets go of itself. Well, at least metaphorically, it never lets go of itself. It just understands that it's something different now, you know, and that's why in evolution. A lot of us with shadow work and stuff, we're told to let go, but that's energetically, but not of ourselves, of the vibration of things that don't resonate with us. The vibration of it, not the not the not the person that we were, because we needed those steps to get to where we are now. We needed those versions of us to get here. But we can also allow them to have love and forgiveness. And that's how we do shadow work. We bring love and forgiveness to that shadow, or that shadow aspect of our psyche that holds us and keeps us small. Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's just talking. I'm just talking. I do cards, and I will probably do some cards. But it was 11:11 when I loaded up for my live, and I was like, okay, this was meant to be, because I've been seeing a lot of synchronized numbers, and usually when I see that, it's a sign that whatever I'm doing or thinking is that I'm on the right path, and so I follow that and go with that guidance. And I didn't want to step back. I didn't want to show, like, not so much show everyone that healing, when once you get over healing, you feel good again, because it has a little bit of a hangover effect. Um, but it's almost still saying that even in dark moments, there are light moments too. You just have to find them. You just have to look for them, and then you have to acknowledge them. So that's why I stepped forward, even though yesterday I had a really rough go. My eyes are still a little bit swollen from all the crying. But it is what it is. It's sort of like, I'm human, and that's why I chose, when I put up that video, I chose that human song, because we are divine and we are human. It's literally the same thing. Two things coming together. And the divine lets us be human, and the human lets us be divine, and we have to learn to find the balance between that piece of us, or those pieces of us, and work together with them. Yeah. It does have a bit of a, like, it can be, and it's hard, it's hard for my children, because my children didn't grow up with the same environment as me. So when they see me go through these kind of strong bouts of sadness or clearing, I like to call it clearing, when I just sort of let my body do all the talking, when it comes to my healing. I'm kind of glad that they don't understand, but in the same respect, it's very perplexing for them. And I am honest with them, but there's like, but they're also still, like they're like, I've got 20-year-olds and late teenagers, and I've got two little ones. So it's sort of like they still struggle with understanding what I'm going through. And when they look at me, they're like, what's going on with mum? Mum's not happy today. Mum's not outside doing a meditation. She's not, waking everybody up with a smile. She's just not really saying anything. And I just say, I'm just going through stuff, so just give me that time and space to do it. Because I can't deny that I can't put on a smile for them and say, yeah, I'm good. Because then it teaches them that when they go through spaces like that they have to put on this falsity for me to make me feel better. And when we learn to be truthful and in ourselves and more transparent, these phases, these growth phases, we have to show people that we have these, and to normalize it. Because I think with a lot of us, we've been taught that we do that in private. We keep that to ourselves. We don't share, because when we share, we're letting people down. We're open to criticism. We're vulnerable. And the thing about a healing journey is learning that your heart always has to be open. And yes, it is vulnerable, but in that vulnerability, finding strength. So, yeah, that's right. It's being truthful. That is. But this is a year of strength. That energetically, we're going to find that with each time we get knocked down, we're going to find our stride and overcome things a lot faster. So 2020 and 2021, everything slowed down, but not the energy. The energy was like, we were all going through stuff. We were all going because it was rising. And the thing is, the energy is still rising, but we're learning to move with it, and less about it taking us on a whirlwind ride, but literally learning to work with the energy easier. And you'll see in this phase of the year, we're a little bit at a standstill, but it's almost like the calm before the storm. But the storm being something that pushes us forward, not so much destroys us like it would have in the past. Yeah, mine too. Yeah, you need to tell them to give you space. And I would say this to friends that were having really hard times, um, psychologically, because they were going through an awakening, but then trying to push it down and act like they weren't. It was just like, just tell your family, you're going to be crazy for about a week. Give yourself a week and just say, I'm going to be a little bit crazy for a week. You're going to see me doing things that I wouldn't usually do, but just allow me this time and support me through this healing phase. Just tell them so they know, like, instead of pretending that you're fine and hiding, pushing back the tears and pushing down that pain and suffering, and all that's going to do is make you more sick. And it's sort of like, just allow yourself to let it out and let them see it so they can understand. But my heart was closed too for a long time as well, very shut down. And well, my heart chakra awakening was painful because of the fact that it was literally like this. My heart had become so compacted, so compressed, or contracted. It was like this, tight and tense, that when spirit came in for my awakening, and I had hit rock bottom, emotionally again, because I was highly sensitive all my life. I've always been sensitive. And when I hit rock bottom once again energetically, catalyst for change, really. It was when I hit rock bottom that spirit reached in and opened my heart chakra. It was weird because it felt like I had literally cried myself to sleep, and in the middle of my sleep, I literally felt my heart go crack. Like, it's what it felt like. I literally thought I was having a heart attack. And when I felt that pain, literally, it was a physical crack, but there was no physical injury. It was energetically, but it felt like a physical injury. That when my heart chakra was opened, I bawled my eyes out. And it's not so much spirit, it was my soul. My soul fought back. And that time was really like, I could feel that coming in, that my soul wanted to live. Because I was dying inside. I was diminishing. I was lowering myself more and more every day because of the fact that my heart was being more and more compressed energetically. And so my soul chose to free me from it. And when I felt that, I cried for like 40 minutes. Like, cried full on, like rolling around in my bed like I'd, lost something. And after that, I started seeing like these orbs. When you cry a lot and your eyes get tired and you can see these like lights, the lights are blurry. It felt like that. And these orbs in my room floating around me. And it was like an acknowledgement that I was not alone. I wasn't alone through this. And it was that day that I decided that I never wanted to feel like that again. Never wanted to feel so sad and low like that again. And even though I go through bouts of healing, I like to say that those dark phases are healing phases. My heart doesn't close. It doesn't. And I know when to ask for support when I feel it closing, because if it's a tightness in your chest, listen to your body tells you what it needs. And when I felt that compression in my chest, I asked for support again. And that's when the energy of my grandmother came in to support me, because all I have to do is ask for her, and she comes in, or ask for support, and she's usually the first line of call. Like you've got your spiritual team that sit with you. And I've often had loved ones that have passed that'll come and sit with me for a while. They'll stay with me and show their love and support and spirit. And even like friends and their family members that will sit with me for a little bit before they move on to the next level of living. Yeah, sorry if I'm not seeing your... Yeah. But when you start... Who's Haida? Oh, sorry. Are you asking to hear about somebody? Yeah. Yeah. Going with the flow. Sorry. I'm just going back a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, it is. That's why I share it. I used to do this a lot on Facebook, and because I had mentioned this before, sometimes the spiritual input compared to the spiritual output, there was no balance. So I would have to literally bring forward messages, daily messages, to get it out, because I was going through a stage of receiving a lot of spiritual uploads and messages that I wanted to share. And because even though they were specific to me, that's what you have to understand when there's a lot of people and they say, oh, I've received messages from Spirit, I feel compelled to share them. They're actually literally messages for them. But because it's so much and it's eye-opening, they want to share it with you. And it just depends where they're at in their stages of healing. And I was there too. And just every day putting out messages. I remember that. I remember doing that a lot. I stepped back a little bit when we went through the lockdowns and things like that. Just dealing with, my children, and the energy was pretty dense. So I stopped doing a lot of things that I was doing spiritually, as in my practice with the cards and stuff like that. But I think that was a good time to learn to evolve, because I think you have to understand that when you're wanting to create a spiritual practice, or moving in the esoteric area, that you have to evolve your gifts. You can't just stay the same all the time. You have to upgrade your mediumship. You have to spend time with you. You have to do a lot of you work, that shadow work is you work. So I approach it in that respect. And evolve your ideas and your mindsets, and then reevaluate where you still resonate with in your spiritual practices, and then shape and change them. Because I feel like, I know there's a very traditional way of doing things, and when it comes to collective areas and collective collaborations, stick to the traditional spaces, because that shows respect to your elders and to your ancestors. But when it comes to you practices, soul evolution is important, and you're going to have to practices. Soul evolution is important, and you're going to have to realize that there has to be an evolution in your spiritual practices and how you go about conducting your energy on a daily basis. Yeah. I'm not actually doing any readings right now. I'm just talking. So we're just talking about spiritual stuff. Yeah, I used to say that all the time, I'm going crazy. But you find that you're actually just changing your mindset and the way that you focus your energy. And doing that, allowing yourself to be just open to evolve and change, because we get very set ideals on where we should go, and that can be very constricting to the soul, because the soul has a wanderlust. Now, the wanderlust is this need to explore and to experience, and although being more soul orientated and becoming more soul conscious as a human race, the soul doesn't have the restriction like the physical body. So it'll yearn to be in places, but for a lot of us, we have to learn that that's a step-by-step process, and but still learning to express the soul, have that soul expression, so that it doesn't feel congested. And so we go through a step-by-step process to move towards goals that the soul wants, or that it's guiding us towards, because we have to understand, okay, there's a lot about the soul that I have to speak about. The soul has a lot of wisdom, and we're learning it again. We already know it, we're relearning it, and slowly but surely, as everyone becomes more soul conscious, accessing it. So we'll have a lot more vivid dreams, a lot more deja vus, a lot more connection with people that activate things within us. And as we move towards those goals in a more harmonious way with our soul, this is something I talk about a lot. Because when you resist the soul calling, when you resist that, you'll find a lot of restriction and a lot of resistance energetically. And a lot of us don't realize that we've been in resistance for so long that we've become accustomed to resistance. Yeah. How do you guys see this? Like, so strange. Can you see spirits? I can sense spirits. Sometimes I can see light orbs or color changes, but usually it's a sense. Though you can see shadow people really easy. I do, because that's one of my gifts, is seeing people's shadows, and that's more about allowing me to see where they need to heal, and or what they're putting forward, but learning to see behind that as well, learning to see behind the mask. Yeah. But spiritually, like for me, accessing other people's spiritual team, you need permission. There has to be permission, and I don't just tap in and take. I usually like to knock at the door of your spiritual house and ask for permission to enter. In the same respect, you have to allow permission for me to enter, because it's energies, right? Because I used to go into a space where I'd just go in and do readings and instantly access someone's energy without asking for permission, and wonder why I was so drained, because your spiritual team is trying to push me out and my spiritual team is trying to help me get in. So it's learning to ask for permission and then accessing. But also you have to understand that when it comes to spirit, or you know, our loved ones, they're always with us. They're always with us. Always. So if you have loved ones that you want to access, ask for them. Talk to them. Because the energy of them is still around. And they sense, it's weird, but they sense when we need them. They sense it too. Because they're connected to everything. You have to understand. When they move into that next level of living, they are connected to everything. So they instantly know things. And they instantly know when we need them. And we can ask for them. And we're going to ask to have the energy come in. And you have to understand, but you have to understand that they can't stay. They visit. It's not good for them to stay either. So, yes, spirits are sometimes people that we don't know. Mind your business, spirit team, yeah. I believe that in psychics, but I think the word psychic has been distorted by a lot of people. Everyone's calling themselves psychics, but a lot of them are just highly sensitive empaths with a lot of trauma. And you have to be mindful. I don't call myself a psychic, and I don't believe that I am a psychic. I don't want to know the future, and I just feel like I'm an energy intuitive, so I sense things, and a knowing will come forward when it needs to. And I don't try to push myself to be psychic. It can build into psychic abilities, so I'll start out in a reading feeling very intuitive and picking up or sensing things, and then the knowing will step in, and then I will literally be able to draw. But that's not a space in which I try to push myself towards, because that takes energy. It takes a lot of energy, and you have to understand that. Where does that energy come from? From within you. And that's not an easy area to maintain. So I do believe in psychics, but I don't believe I am one. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, it's just love and good intentions. Plus, I'm of service. That's, you know, if you can think about a lot of the readers here, they're of service to self. But I like to think about beyond that. So, yep, okay, I love gifts and I love likes and shares and all that kind of stuff. Don't get me wrong. But I feel that I would rather it be natural for you to give that, and that I find abundance in other ways. The universe, for all the service that I give, the universe pays me back tenfold in other ways, and other forms of abundance. So it doesn't necessarily always have to be monetary, even though we are a society based monetarily, or we're monetarily focused. But I'm soul focused, I'm soul orientated, and what does money mean to a soul? Nothing. Material things mean to a soul nothing. And so I want to be successful, don't get me wrong. I want to be seen and heard, don't get me wrong. I have all those human conditionings, but my soul just wants to be here and now with you all. And that's what I do. So I at first I was like, yeah, I want to gifting this and that, but then it doesn't sit right with me. And it's not that I don't believe that when someone provides a service that they don't get that equal exchange. I don't judge, okay? But this is just how I've seen it. How I've seen it for me. And so that when I come forward with love and good intentions. Because it's sort of just, that's the true, purity of my soul space. And yeah, I understand that a lot of people like that equal exchange, and that's all good. That's all good, and they deserve it. And there's been heaps of times, when I say something, no, don't worry about that, especially if it's someone that I know. You don't have to pay me. Don't pay me. Please don't pay me, because these are people in my life that I interact with daily. And then they'll go out of their way to give me some kind of exchange. And I mean, I'm open to receive, but sometimes it's just because I'm a giver, and I've always been a giver, and I know that we have to have boundaries. And when I'm tired, I'll back off and I'll just say, okay, thanks guys, I'll see you next time. So I'll detach. But while I'm here, I usually just give of myself, and and the universe shows me and gives me things in other ways, and that's, for me, that's an equal, exchange with the energy. And usually it's through insights. Like, knowledge is power. You have to understand that what I don't receive monetarily, I receive an insight and an intuition. And I've had some beautiful moments. I'll tell you what, I always say this, in my healing journey, I have experienced some beautiful things and come into the knowing of some absolute divine energies and knowing. And I'll always be grateful for those experiences. Being blessed by spirit, feeling literally a light, a spotlight put on me, and feeling all this love just come pour into my body, and feeling absolutely loved. Absolutely unconditional. It's so much. Every time that comes in, I always cry because it's so much for my body to process, and it feels painful, but it's actually just really beautiful. And that unconditional love from source energy, when you're able to tap into that, that's abundance. That's $1 million. You know what I mean? It's an experience that I'm always grateful to have, and to have known in my life. I'm open to receive, but just receiving in very different ways, because it's sort of like, you got the light workers, right? You got the light workers, and light workers are made to be of service, and I give 100% to that space to be of service. I am of service to myself first, so I care for myself and make sure I'm all right first. But I started, when I was originally first coming out and doing readings, I was getting that monetary exchange. I was doing a lot of business, and it was fun, and it was cool because it's something that I'm really good at and that I like. But it's the evolution, your evolution. And then when you become more soul-orientated, money doesn't appeal. Status and careers don't appeal as much, because you become more truthful to yourself, and you see yourself more transparently, and understand that you're able to detach from societal conditioning. Yeah, it's not like I'm not bound to needing money, don't get me wrong, but it's sort of just like that faith and belief that it all comes to me in the way it needs to come. I don't chase it. What is it? I don't chase, I attract. And it does. It does. And it's just belief in that what I do is good, and that good gets returned back. Yeah. Yeah. It does. It's just you give good energy, you get good energy. Energy, knowledge, it's all important. It's going to be the currency of the future. Of the future. Is that we're kind of like bridging we're bridging generations, right? Like, my generation may not see the full turn of society, because time is not necessarily on the human side, but we're the foundations. At least we're the first brick in the bridge of moving towards a better society. And I firmly believe in that space, that we're actually, you get all these doom and gloom scenarios, apocalyptic scenarios, but really, does that really resonate now with us? The more we raise our vibration, the more we tap into soul consciousness, does that really relate to us now? Or are we learning that we can use things in a way that are beneficial? Because all the systems that we know, that we've grown up with and that we believe in, we're starting to see the change little by little. More truth coming forward, more, at least, understanding of truth. And there's a lot of glamour and masking in the world when it comes to information from those that are trying to deceive us, but we're also understanding beyond that, seeing beyond that, that there's actually a lot of good happening in the world that's not just so negative, and we're not falling for it as much or believing in it fully. If you can, I'm not talking about times, but when, there were times when people use a lot of media, use propaganda to diminish other races, and I'm not talking about trying to get into that, and that people would believe that to be true. People would 100% support that because this is what we're being told, what we read, we believe. But now we understand that we can discern what is good for us and what is not, and what is our truth and what is not, and standing up for that. Yeah. Yeah. I will be doing readings. Sorry, I will be doing readings in just a little bit longer. Yeah. Yeah. Same as me too. Like, we find that, you know, I would call myself a guiding light. So sometimes we have to hold the space and shine a light, and it stops people from hitting, the rocks around us like a watchtower or like a lighthouse. We show the way so that other people can guide through easier, through the rough waters of our emotions and our lives easier. Okay, thank you. And that's how I kind of like to call myself a guiding light, or do guiding light messages, which I haven't really been going too hard with the guiding light messages because they can be very confronting and truthful, and that may not necessarily. I've had a lot of bad reactions from people when I put them up, so I've just sort of calmed down. I've just calmed down from bringing out the guiding light messages, and then just do something a little bit more gentle. So my readings are a little bit more gentle, and I try to look at the positivity of it all, not in a toxic way, just the potentiality that there is positivity there. It's up to you whether or not you want it. And readings are purely suggestion. That's the thing we have to understand. That no reading is set in stone. It's purely suggestion, or to allow you to know something that's there, but you can take it or leave it. And that's just how I do it. It's sort of, they're usually timeless too, so you'll get it when you get it at the right time when you need it. Usually. So I started doing this. Sorry, guys. I started doing messages like that so that, I've said this before, but so I have a granddaughter, and I know I'm not going to be around forever, but I wanted to, if anything, share light with her. So if she ever needed me, I'm literally everywhere for her to see. And if she ever needed me, she could tap on one of my messages and watch them, and I'd always be there for her. So that's quite emotional for me, actually. I'm not sure. I don't do those kind of readings. But it's sort of, that was important for me, because I know that just like my grandmother who comes to me energetically when I need support, that I want it to be like that too, for the future generations ahead, to always be there for them when they need it. I'm not too sure why I'm getting all these questions like that, guys. I'm not that kind of reader. And I don't like to tap into other people's energy because I don't have permission to go in and look from that person. So I'm an ethical reader. Okay, so I don't do that. If it comes into your energy and I feel it, a knowing, yes, I would say yes, I can have a look. But until then, no. Yeah. But that's why I do what I do. It's for those that need it in the future. Not just my granddaughter, but all those that need a message and it'll just pop up randomly when you need it. Just one message that could shift so much, because that's what happened to me. One message that it just shifted, and it was like this person spoke to me like she knew me, and she didn't, and she wasn't talking to me, but it felt like she did. And I remember my first tarot reading I ever watched, I cried because it was so truthful, and never knew that it could feel like that. And then after that, I became very intrigued with tarot, and I wanted to know. I was in a space of seeking instead of knowing, because when you're an initiate, you seek for knowledge, you seek the knowledge, and then as you evolve, you learn that you are the knowledge, you access the knowledge different, or discover it within. But that's from working with your mediumship, that's developing it. There's several mind shift changes that you have to go through to get to proper mediumship. Several. It's not just. Oh, that's cool. Well, you can get one if you want one, because I'm going to actually open up my energy now and bring it in. Since I keep talking about tarot, it must be a space where it's time. I usually have my mod with me, so she would usually sort it out, so you have to deal with me, and I'm a little bit more slower when I have to organise as well. So I'll probably do a few of them anyway, see where we're at, see where the energy is at for you. So what I do is I usually find your current energy. So current energy is like echolocation. I find where you're at, and then I find the spiritual guidance that Spirit wants you to know in this time and now. So I don't always answer questions like that, like, am I going to be pregnant? Because I don't know. I literally don't know. All I can see what's in your energy, and Spirit may not want to talk about pregnancy. They may want to talk about things that you're not tending to or not focusing on, and it's usually what you need, not what you want. And that's just how it goes. Yep. Okay. All right. So yeah, 1212. That's like for me. That's Isis. That's the number of Isis. So, as in the deity, she's a beautiful energy that I work with a lot, or the archetype energy. So we have to understand that our soul understands energy as archetypes. So if you ever heard of, that's why I bought the archetype deck, was that and through our lives there's like repetitive stories or gods and myths and legends, and they all have a certain energy or archetype. So I deal with Isis, and she's been coming forward a lot, especially when I went through my healing yesterday. I was seeing 12, 12, 12, 51, or is it 22, 22. Twos for me are always her energy. But when I see that, you can literally, like, Isis. Anyway, sorry. And so she is about finding your purpose in life and being fearless and bold and using strategies that help you move forward. Because she was quite a strong strategist. She has very powerful feminine energy. She has a priestess energy. So it's knowing the inner knowledge and using that to move you forward out of situations. But yeah, sorry guys. Okay, Stacey. I'm just going back up to see who. I'm gonna put you love jury as well. T Rabbit. Brody. Hi Brody. Kia ora, Stacey and Keto. I'm just going to take those names for now. I'll just see who I've got. Okay, Pam. This Pam. Is she real? Her energy's real. Yes, Pam, I got you. Isis's energy is real. The energy of her archetype. So we have to understand that I couldn't tell you if she was a real person in life. Oh, I tend to feel like someone was based on her. But her energy in the universe is real. So she could appear to you as many different things, or even as a symbol, but energetically their archetype is real. And she can be, you have to understand with when you need to learn something, you'll get the energy of things coming towards you. So whatever Isis, like for me, what Isis taught me was to learn to be bold and fearless, which was learning how to be on camera daily or openly, truthfully, learning to be out here, putting myself out there, and knowing that, and that is my purpose of being seen, because I'm an introvert. Like, I'm a big old introvert. I haven't really ever been out as much as it may seem. I don't really like going out of my house. But in accessing the energy of Isis, and the other one was Kalima, like I get a lot of deities, basically. Feminine energy, because I was tapping into that subconscious energy, the intuitive space, and Isis is a very powerful energy for that, for accessing that inner divine space. And I love her. I should have brought a deck out, actually. We'll do that next time. Okay, all right, I'm going to get into it. So I've got up to Pam, and let's see how we go. I'm just going to have a drink. I've got coffee. Okay, Stacey. I've got two Stacys. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go back up. What's the difference? So yeah. It's one. I need Hawaii. Oh God. I've got two Stacys. I don't know if there's two Stacys out there. I've got Stacey Lang, and there was another Stacey. Or I'll put Stacey twice. Is there another Stacey there? Alright, Stacey Lang. I should have put the last bit. Alright. So I'm going to get your current energy and see where you're at. Alright. So I'm just going to knock at your spiritual house, the door of your spiritual house, and you're going to answer. Alright. It's you, Stacey. So what I do is I like to ground into the energy, into your energy. I speak to my intuition and I ask for a connection. So you'll see me do that before every reading. See where you're at, Stacey. Woo. Oh, jeez. Okay. So, I've got the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Wands, with the Five of Pentacles in reverse and the Ace of Wands. Okay, so your current energy is that there's a lot going on. And with the Knight of Swords, it's someone you're either, okay, even your energy is like that. Something's in a hurry. You're in a hurry for something. It's almost like fear of missing out. That's what I'm getting. It's this fear of missing out. But you have to understand, it's weird. I don't know why, but I feel like you've got this in the front of your mind. You have this idea that you want to bring about, and it's sort of like, I need to do it now or I'm going to miss out. That's how it feels like. And you don't want to miss out. That's the thing. You don't want to be left out. You don't want to miss out or miss opportunities. But just be mindful with the the Knight of Wands. Man, your energy, I'm getting like, if I can describe it, it's like how if you're on a busy city street and you look out the window, because I remember when I went to Australia and I was in Mascot, and my auntie lived on a main street, so there was like trucks and cars and motorbikes going past all the time, but you had to open the windows up to get some fresh air because it's freaking hot. And this is what's happening with your thoughts right now. Is vroom, vroom, vroom. There's a lot of speed in the way you're thinking or the way that you're changing. It's bouncing backwards and forwards. So I would say to you to slow that down a bit so you can process what's really going on. What's the main thing that's happening right now that's in the front of your mind? Here with the Ace of Wands, some message wants to come in, I can tell you that. But whatever it's done, it's caused this fast processing of your thoughts, and you're either reliving or going over an old feeling or situation, and it's sort of starting to weigh on you, weigh down on you, and it's a little bit like that's how I just feel. It's weird because I just want it's almost like boom, boom, boom. And when I wanted to talk in your about your cards, my words were stumbling, and I feel like for you that's because it's things are happening so fast that it's hard to communicate it, whatever it is, this idea that you have that's starting to want to step forward, because it's almost stepping forward out from everything else, and there's a lot. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know. Like there's a lot of stuff that's going on or that you're processing, but there's one consistent feeling that's coming forward, whether or not that's a spiritual knowing or awakening or desire. Desire is not bad, or creativity. It can be used as that. But I would be mindful of anyone that's trying to push you or pressure you into something that you don't want, or manipulate you in a way that makes you put down your guard, because this feels like the energy of another coming in and causing this disturbance. Disturbance, yeah. Or distortion in your mind's eye. Because I feel like this is a good space for you to slow things down and really process it by breathing. Literally, you can literally breathe into your eye. And I know it sounds weird. But sometimes for us to really have clarity, we can take our breath and focus it up into our head. Like here. Because I'm getting it here. Like here. Like that's like there's pressure here for me, but it's yours. Like there's a lot, it's going on so much that it's starting to become quite painful. And that's when it gets like that. It's a really good time to slow it down and take your time with processing these thoughts. Because that boom, boom, that's too much. And we'll never see true clarity in what we need to do when we let that take over and cause pain. It's almost like causing pain or blindness in how you think about things, like a blind spot. Alright, so we're going to get some spiritual guidance for you. Yeah, strength card. Strength card. Yep. Okay, I like that. So, okay. This can go one of two ways, and I feel like it does for both areas, for the inside and what's physically happening in your world. For the strength card, we have to understand that it's about taming the beast, right? But the beast within, and we don't tame the beast by cracking the whip, by throwing sticks at it, by throwing stones at it, but by actually loving it and bringing compassion and grace into the situation. So to calm the mind, wherever that's at for you, what's going on internally, bring love, compassion and grace to it. And remember that you can be the lion and the lamb, or the lamb, in both areas are strong. It doesn't matter, as long as you bring love and compassion to these situations, and also knowing that you can't be pushed over. You're no pushover. You're no pushover. So if someone's trying to put pressure on you, set your boundaries and stand strong. Because I feel like this is more on the psychological level. No one can dominate you unless you allow them. And if you have to unleash the beast towards someone with that boundary setting, do it. Do it. I'm sorry, there's like one fly in my room. Do it. Because if you don't, and don't set that boundary, you're always going to find that this situation or this person or this type of manipulation will happen in your life over and over. And when you set that boundary, you set the boundary for everyone else that comes after. No. No means no. And not in the way that it sounded, but as in, you can't move past this boundary that I've set. So I feel like for you, it's tapping into your inner strengths by bringing love and compassion to yourself and understanding yourself, and then also understanding that you can still be kind and firm and strong and beast-like to other people. You can still hold that space. So it's sort of like knowing that you're no longer, how do I say that? You're no longer the damsel in distress, that you're the hero for you in your life. So I think you just need to embrace your own inner power and let that come out. Because, yeah. Okay, thank you, Stacey. Yeah. Well, everyone always thinks it's about being strong, but it's actually about taming the beast within with love, compassion, and grace. The white lady, see the white lady, or the lady in white, sorry. She does it, she soothes that beast within with love and gentleness. Yeah. Very welcome. Hopefully that makes sense. I was going to say that was my New Year's resolution, was to say not to say. I hope it makes sense. Thank you, Stacey. Love Jury. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's see where you're at. And Stacey, that's also understanding your value. You know, we all have to understand that we're valuable, not just something for people to discard, like we're nothing, because that's how they feel about themselves. The more love and compassion that you have for yourself, the more value you have to yourself as well. Okay, just give this a good shuffle. Don't mind if I switch decks sometimes. So I'm going to ground into your energy, love Jury. That's awesome, Stacey. Here we go. Deep dive. Yes. Let's have a look. What's going on with current energy? All came out together. So one issue going on. Yeah, okay. Okay, so you got the Seven of Cups and the Two of Cups in reverse with the Hangman upright. Okay, so the Seven of Cups, Two of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. So there are meanings to these cards, but I just want to say you've just come out of a bit of a heavy space of healing or shedding. I want to say shedding. Like, you know, it's literally shedding old skin. You know, like the snake is often seen as being quite deceptive, but for me, I don't see the snake as being deceptive. I think it's quite a powerful symbol of transformation and healing. I think it's just being distorted through religion. But anyway, I feel like with you, and oh, what did you see that? It does have a snake there. So I feel like for you, you've gone through a space with the Seven of Cups upright of not knowing what was real or not, and not knowing what was real as in emotionally for you. Like, it's like, who do I rely on? Who is there for me? Who's on my team? You know, it's like that. And with the Two of Pentacles, not quite being able to feel like you can make the right decision, because the Two of Pentacles can be about two places, two times, two things. You know, it's like that. This backward and forward. So I feel like for you, it's sort of like, okay, thank you. You've had to look in the mirror. Because I just said, I'm looking at the man in the mirror. So you've been having a deep look at, like a deep dive into your space of you. And here with the hangman, you have to realize that sometimes it can be stagnant energy, but I've been saying this a lot in my readings. Sometimes we get put on pause in our lives because we have to learn something and reflect upon something. And I think for you in your current energy, you might be a little bit stuck on things, but you're actually voluntarily standing still, standing in front of that mirror and looking at things from a higher perspective, from a different angle. You know what I mean? You listen to that song? Yeah, because a lot of us are doing that though. We're all looking in the mirror of us and seeing who we are. You know, like that's literally what you're doing. Who am I? These are big, meaningful questions. You know, where do I resonate? Who resonates with me? It's like that. Who's real for me and who's not? It's like you're weeding out all the good people and all the bad people in your life, and sort of at times feeling very stuck on who it is that is for you or not. Like it's like that. But you have to understand that when you look at things from a higher perspective, you're choosing to see things from different angles, and you might come to different outcomes and understandings of current situations that are playing out in your life. But you're doing it in a way that's healthy for you. So this is a heavy stage, but a healthy period of understanding as well. So I'm going to see what spiritual guidance you have available. See what they want to bring forward for you. Okay. So you got 3 cards, 3. Oh. Okay. These came out together just like... Okay, so I just heard the song Switch. You know, like that Will Smith song? And I don't really listen to that song. Oh, it wasn't one of my favorites. But it's like, turn it over and switch. I want to play it. You know, like it was like that. So what's going on? It's literally a light bulb switching the light on, and everything's totally in the open and transparent. Because your spiritual guidance was the wheel of fortune, things turning in your favor, end of karmic debt, end of old cycles. The 10 of Pentacles, happily ever after, physically in your life, or abundance. And the 6 of Wands, you know, sort of a victory, a win. So I think for you, it's time to understand. And if you can understand, look at this. The hangman and the wheel. The thing about the hangman is that he stands, in traditional tarot, he stands like that. The hanged man, right? This force. So it's about building stability. See, with the hangman there, creating that force symbol, and then on that wheel of fortune, someone's standing there with the force symbol. So this has been about home, family, and foundations, and stability. So it's bringing stability in, literally, and allowing yourself to have a happily ever after, or allow yourself to have abundance, and allow that light to shine in your life. Because it's sort of like, it's almost like in understanding where you are and who you are, you allow for things to be more positive in the respect that you understand that you deserve it. Because when we start aligning to higher perspectives or different mindsets and different angles and perceptions of outcomes, we allow ourselves to go into a space of fortune or just fortunate happenings that allow for your victory. If you can understand, it's allowing the universe to work in your favor, but you have to allow it. You have to be in the vibration of it. You have to be open to receive. And see those arms open? Just open up to possibilities. So hopefully that makes sense to you, because like for me, I feel like you're just in a space of really just, well, because the arms are wide open, you know, I'm open to receive the good things in life. I'm done with all the crap, you know, I've been through the dredges of what life can give me, and now I want to move forward with a positive a mindset that's more positive to me as a person, because we can often, you know, get stuck in the who, where, what, and put blame on people. But when we actually look at it from different angles, understand who we really are, you know, inside, and then we understand who we really are, see that value in us, and then open to receive it. So hopefully that makes sense for you. That was actually really nice energy, and I got a bit of, I had to stand back, or sit back a bit when I got those cards come in, because the fact that you are about to have a bit of a switch in your life space, just in the way that you think and feel about your life. And when that starts changing, it's like the flower, right? As soon as you start to shape and evolve into something, you know, you go into full bloom of your life, and that growth is quite beautiful. Yeah, that's good. I like to do current energies, because current energies is the here and now. What's real is here and now, what's happening now. Not so much what happened in the past, not so much what's happening in the future, but real energy, knowing of what's happening here and now. That goddamn fly is in my room. So thank you, Love Jury. And T Rabbit, are you still here? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you for the likes. Thank you for the rose, Lexi. Yeah. And I love that energy. That was so cool. Like, you know, when they came out, they pretty much said just, it's all about to change, because you're in a space of trying to change how you see it. And it all, you know, like, for me, I say it's spiritual, but spiritual and human, same thing. We're naturally spiritual beings. We're born spiritual. And what we get told is that we're not, that we have to achieve it, but we already are. And it's sort of like when you access that space of knowing for yourself and understanding your value, things become more possible. That's all, the possibility. So those cards are purely suggestion, but the possibility for you to know that it's there, that just, it lifts you up, right? It lifts you in a way that is beneficial to your future. Okay, T Rabbit. Let's go. Let's have a look. Thank you, Love Jury. Just going to give these a bit of a shuffle, and then I'll tap in. T Rabbit. I'm just calling you T Rabbit. I'm sorry if it's not actually how you say your user. I just want to share this, and I just want to say that, did you know that the way to tap into your divine space, or into your heart chakra, which is the seat of where all your knowledge comes from, is through the breath? That's why the lungs are around the heart. I don't know why I would say that. That's just what came forward. So whenever you want to access a divine space, that's why I do it too. I breathe into my heart. Breathe it down and... Okay, T Rabbit, let's have a look. It's a sacred space when you breathe. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Alright. Oh, I tell you what, I'm just gonna say this right now, T Rabbit. I'm finding it difficult to these cards are like really, they're active. So your energy may be quite up and down right now, if that's a good way to describe it. Fluctuating. Let's have a look at what your current energy is. I just want to say slow down. Slow down. A lot of us have to learn to do that, especially in this current energy. So you have 3 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. Yeah. Is that all? Is that all that wants to come forward? Yeah. Okay. So 3 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles. So for me, they actually, when I saw them, they were actually, weirdly, they were in reverse. Oh, they were in reverse. I'm getting a lot of physical things with you. So you might not be able to actually communicate something that you feel inside, and that's building up. That's why the distortion. I'm saying distortion, but it might be fluctuation. Thank you. It's a little bit less destructive, but there's a lot of highs and lows. You're hitting a lot of highs and lows in a very short span of space. And here with the 3 of Cups and the 9 of Pentacles, what I wanted to say was that I saw them in reverse, but when I pulled them out, they were upright. So I feel like for you, you may often put on this very together energy, reliable energy, honest energy, but there's this inner stuff that is almost trying to break free. You know what I mean? It's like you don't have to hold yourself together. You don't have to hold yourself together all the time and be so contracted in your energy. Sometimes we have to let that distortion out or that fluctuation out and have a breath. That's why the breathing came in for you. And why the throat chakra got a little bit tight when I tapped into your energy. So it's sort of like understanding that I know that you want to be good all the time. I know that in your base energy you want to be good all the time. But being good all the time, there's so much pressure. Because inside you there's a rebel. It's almost that rebel yell, you know. I want to yell, I want to scream. That's by the throat. And I asked if there was anything else that wanted to come out to explain what was going on, but they literally want me to tell you that it's okay to be a rebel. It's okay to break cycles too. It's okay to be unreliable and not tell the truth all the time. As in, not tell the truth, not lying, but not always having to shit. Because I feel like there's people, maybe friends, maybe family, someone you have an emotional connection to that you share everything with, but you don't share the true essence of who you are. And it's getting hard to maintain that. You know, it's sort of like, it's almost like I want to resonate with people that get me on that soul level, that know that I'm little bit messed up. I'm a little bit of a, I want to say I could be a little bit of an egg sometimes. So it's more about your humour, less about character. Like, you know, you can be a little dipsy. Oh, dipsy, is that a good word? I don't want to say dipsy, but like just a little bit blazed or, you know, blurry sometimes. And that you're not always onto it. And, well, it's just saying you're human, aren't you? You're human. And I think you're trying to be superhuman with a lot of people, and it's becoming too much. And that pressure to be the same, if that makes sense, as everybody else is actually literally pushing you away. You know what I mean? It's literally pushing you away from the people that you care about. So I'm just going to bring in some spiritual guidance for you. Anything else? Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Okay, so you have a lot of, you have the Three of Wands, so you got the Three of Cups here and the Knight of Pentacles. Did I show you the cards? Sorry, sometimes I just talk and I don't even think. Three of Wands, the Ten of Cups, and the Devil in reverse. Okay. And now, I know people think, oh, reverse cards, that's really negative. But you have some type of lesson that you're going through right now, because 3 is for me about the teacher, which also means lessons in life. And I know may not necessarily mean that in numerology, but that's how I see numbers, and I can't count very well, but that's how I've always interpreted it. But I think for you, how do I describe that? I have to translate it in a way that's relevant, that's all. Because they sort of show me a scene, or they give me a phrase, and then I've got to try and talk about that. But it's almost like your life was set out for you before you even got to choose it. Before you even got to decide what you wanted to do in your life. And it's created a space of feeling disconnected. Okay? And toxic to you. I don't know if this makes sense. Seriously. But that's how it wants to come out. And it's sort of like saying, when you choose you, you can literally do what you want to do, which is the opposite. So I'm getting the opposite. I want to be different, you know. And here with the Devil in reverse, it's literally letting go of the bonds that have held you to something, almost like a soul contract or a contract that kept you stuck. And they're saying, you know what? It's literally going against the grain. they're asking you to go against the grain of what plan has already been set out for you, because whatever it is, it doesn't resonate with you. And I want to say that it's in a healthy way, okay? So I never ever say go against the grain and, you know, be destructive and hurt yourself. No, it's not about being destructive or hurting yourself. It's about going against the grain for you. So that as in the grain of society, whatever societal conditionings or expectations have been put on you, to go against them, that is in a healthy way for you. So I think for you, you might have been someone that was very studious, and I'm doing a reading, and yeah, studious, and always trying to fill everybody's cup, but it's no good because it hasn't led you down places that were healthy for you. So I would say it's just time to let go of being bound to things and to follow your heart space where you want to go. Because wherever you want to go, here with the Knight of Pentacles, this is who you are. You are good and reliable and honest. You are all those things. But it's like, when is it my time to play up and feel free and do things? And it's sort of like Spirit is saying, just do you, go your way. You know, with the Knight of Pentacles. Go your way, in your time, at your pace, and do what you need to do for you. And you'd find that even when you do this, the people that resonate you will understand you. Resonate with you, will understand what you're doing for you. And yeah, hopefully that makes sense. T-Rabbit, thank you very much. That was interesting, actually. I liked how it's sort of like that rebel yell, you know. You just want to go a different path, and sometimes we are bound by our parents' expectations or family expectations to be something or someone that really doesn't, you know, we're in a space of wanting to follow our soul and our heart space, and not really resonating there with other people's paths and making one of your own a unique path, authentic. So thank you, T-Rabbit. Brody, I've got a few names already. When I get finished with Pam, I'm going to take reading a few more names. I have to look at the time as well. Where are we at with time? Okay. All right, Andrew. Okay. We've got Brody, Kita, and Pam to go, and then I'll take names. So if you're patient, feel free to stay. So we have Brody. Brody, are you still there? Yay! You were so patient. Thank you for your support, Brody. Always in your lives, and I appreciate that. It's interesting, you know, when you do readings and lives, the people that you actually connect with every time, it's awesome. Even Lovejoy, she's always been there from actually the beginning, the first TikTok live. So it's always nice to see these names pop up. Okay, Brody. You know, with people that get readings from me, you know that it goes deeper and deeper, right? As your energy becomes more open. So they, oh, okay now. Okay. Yeah, okay, I like it. So I'm just going to quickly get your spiritual guidance as well, because that way we can just save a bit of time. Okay. Everything's coming up pretty fast for you because you're more open and receptive to my energy, as you know, we have a connection. So here with the Ace of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Nine of Pentacles. Holla, holla, holla. Here comes the dollars. But I think for you, it's a new beginning in a physical aspect. So I feel like it's this beginning and endings, because the Ace of Pentacles is a beginning and the Wheel of Fortune is an ending. So beginning of new cycles, more abundant cycles. I feel like it's just a refreshment. I want to say refreshing time for you, because I feel like whatever you might have been stuck in, you're feeling a lot more like more free from them. And here with the Wheel of Fortune, that's the end of karmic cycles, moving into more fortunate cycles. And then with the Knight of Pentacles, about being a lot more independent financially, more financially independent. And I feel like for you, it's just an up cycle in your energy. So it's learning that, I feel like you're just following all the signs and synchronicities that are available, almost like seeing the signs. You're seeing a lot more signs that are guiding you in ways that are more important and more beneficial to you. Like you literally may be getting physical signs. You know what I mean? More physical signs from spirit or from your soul that allows you to know you're in the right place at the right time and that you're the right person. This is one thing we have to understand. When we realize that we're the right person for us, and we free ourselves from mindsets that hold us back, we find that things are more possible. Possibilities open. And if you were searching for more independence or learning to be a lot more abundant, I would say that everything is turning into that favor. Your current energy is abundance, literally. It is abundance. And it feels like this is a really fortunate time for you. What are some examples of physical signs? So, physical signs, literally seeing the same spirit animal, coming across. So, what do I say in physical signs? So, sometimes when I'm feeling like I want to know something, I might put the radio on and that song will play that will tell me what I need to know, or tell me some advice, or I'll watch YouTube and someone will say something in there and it will say it, and all literal signs. So in August I went back for a family member's funeral and I was given this sign, like spiritually the sign would popped up in my mind, and I was thinking, okay, I don't know why I'm seeing this symbol in the front of my mind a lot. And I didn't realize that when I went up to this family member's funeral that I would literally see this road sign that we don't see here, because we don't really have windy roads, right? Here in Napier, it's more straight up and down. But where I was going, I had to go through all these windy roads. So I had pulled a card for myself, and it was the 7 blessings of Eve, and on it was an egg and the snake symbol. And the snake symbol was like that. And I was like, okay. And I really resonated with that space, and I really loved what that message said to me. And so I posted it on TikTok. You can go back, have a look at it. 7 blessings of Eve. You'll see it. It's a white light oracle message. It might be way, way down. But it is in there. And as I embarked upon this journey back to where my family are from, because I'm estranged from my dad's side, so I didn't realize that I was being guided back, and it was physical road sign. It was beware, windy roads, all the way there. Even right to the space where we ended up going, there was a windy road sign. And like I said, we don't really have those here because we have straight roads, fairly straight roads. So it wasn't something I saw on a daily basis. And then when I went and embarked upon this, and there was a lot of self-discovery. So I think for you, it's the same space, a lot of self-discovery. And when you are more open to the signs and offerings and opportunities from spirit, when you're more open to them, you see them more. You see them more, and they become more fruitful to you. Lots of bats. Actually, bats are about transformation too. A lot of because they're shapeshifters, right? In a sense, they use echolocation. They move at night. A lot of, I think for you, if with the bat, I would research the bat actually, because it's quite a strong animal spirit archetype, and see what it means, because I'm trying to remember off the top of my head right now, and it's kind of slipping. But yeah, I think for you it's just an upcycle in your energy, and a more open way of seeing your life. And if that's not what's currently happening, I feel like that's coming in, because it just feels like it's almost like saying there's a lot of luck, there's a lot of fortune coming into your energy, because that's all pentacles for me. Even the wheel as a pentacle, pentacles. So it's just being more open to being abundant, and then open to receiving abundance as well. And your spiritual guidance, which is interesting, you got the Devil and the Six of Cups. Well, the Devil card can be about temptation, but I think for you it's about remembering something or someone from the past, or it's paying tribute to someone from the past. I feel like they're going to pop up a lot, actually, or they have been popping up, and it's okay to go visit them or see them wherever they may be, because okay, thank you. So, okay, your spiritual guidance, what I want to say is about forgiving the past. And maybe even, because I feel like you're being offered something, an opportunity, because everybody's got their hands out. Everything's got their hand out. It's almost like Spirit is saying, well, we're giving you all these kinds of synchronicities now, we just need you to find the way through. Someone from the past. And I feel like it may not necessarily be someone that's alive, but I feel like it's them. It's almost like, I want to say like this. They've been with you, beside you for a long time. And they may not have, I just want to say it because of what's coming. They may not have necessarily had a good reputation, but they always cared about you. They always cared about you. And it may not be someone that's actually past, but from the past. If you felt that they didn't care about you, they did. But it may not have always come out the way that they wanted it to come out, or shown you. But they've always cared about you every step of the way. That's all I want to say. Because here, it's only because of this. It's only because of this. This. You see that? But that the puppet growing along too, to the old, it's always been there. They've always been there. And you may not have actually understood that, or have rejected that. Yeah. They've always been there with you. That's why the Devil, because funny enough, and I'm going to share this with you because that's what I do. For me, my dad, he was so I'm estranged from my father, and I was raised with my mother's family and my grandparents. And my grandfather he was a pastor. Is that fly? He was a pastor of a church. Like, he was righteous, not religious. And so was my grandmother. She actually became an ordained pastor as well. So they loved God, and they were good, kind people. And my dad was the anti that. He was the opposite. And it was a weird thing that in reconnecting to who I am, I had to also reconnect. That's what I was talking about, that memory of that experience of me going back, and that sign showing me the way, all the way there. And that was back to where my dad's family's from. And reconnecting to my dad through reconnecting to family there. And I feel like it's the same for you. Maybe not your dad, but someone that you care about, but may have thought that they didn't care about you. And I feel like that's not, they may not have always portrayed that, but they did every step of the way. And they may not project this healthy way of living or good reputation, but deep inside they know. But it doesn't mean that they don't care or love you or share love for you or appreciate you. So yeah, thanks, Brady. Yeah, that was a little bit deep, and for me, I always share my experiences because it's the only way I can translate what I get shown. So thank you, Brody. Something different today, wasn't it? Oh, Okay, opposite, but the same energy, right? Yeah, awesome. All right, Kita. Kita. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for saying that. I just read it from the heart. That's the only thing I can do, and give a piece of myself, because I think it's when you learn, that connection, that we're all kind of going through things, and it's kind of all in the same way, but just we do it different because we're different people. Kita? Oh, awesome. All right, Kita. Thank you for coming on today. Let's have a look at your current energy. I'm just going to round down. Have a look. All right. Let's see what's in your current energy. What wants to come forward? Anything else? Oh. What's going on? What's going on? I'm going to take those ones. Let's just say there's things you know about and there's things you don't know about. Yeah. Okay. So, that was quite forceful in that when I asked if there was anything else, and it felt like the cards just went slap. So, it just means that it needs to come out. It's like there's a lot of energy and force in your current energy. So here we have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse and the Knight of Wands upright and the Seven of Pentacles. And it's an interesting thing because I feel like what I heard was no work or play. No work or play. You've been enjoying yourself, you've been having fun, celebrating. The Knight of Wands, I feel like that's your energy, being quite passionate, roaming free, or just enjoying the freedom of it, because that's Sagittarius energy, right? That Knight of Wands. And Sagittarius energy doesn't like to be confined, doesn't like to be restricted. So I feel like it's sort of like stepping out of being responsible and being a little bit mature, but in a way that is fun. Or if it's not I want to say immature, but just like younger. I'm just going back in time a bit and having a bit of fun, because I feel like whatever's been happening prior to this celebration space has been quite heavy and not really worked the way you needed it to, or not fruition the way it should have. And so you're just having like a bit of like that last blast, a blast energy. And then with the Seven of Pentacles, finding that now you're having to confront or actually look at or tend to that Eight of Pentacles energy that didn't work out with the Seven of Pentacles. And wondering if where you've invested your time and energy and effort is going to actually work for you. Like it's that space. And it's all about divine timing with the Seven of Pentacles. Waiting for something to fruition or fruit. And the thing is, we have to understand that when we plant those seeds of growth in our garden of life, that those seeds need time to actually bring forward the fruit of abundance. And if you can do anything right now is actually bring love to that situation or to that seed or to that energy, and just allow it to be without trying to control it or trying to hurry the process, because everything has to go in divine timing. Because maybe when you tried to work on this situation before, it didn't work out because you weren't ready for it, that you had to go through a little bit of a it's weird because I just want to go I just want to shake it off. I'm just going to shake it off. You might have been shaking off 2021 and having a good time of fun, which is all good. which is actually healthy. It's sort of like the balance, you know. It's like changing that energy over, but now getting back to reality. Yes, allowing it to happen, allowing it to become. Because the thing is, when we don't let, it was weird because I had pulled out a card first, and it was like, release the dark wound, let love live. We have to learn to let our ideas live and be as they are, either moving out of the need for it to be perfect and moving into the understanding that it is what it is, and that's all that it is, and that's all it can be, and then that being enough. So I feel like if this isn't about an actual situation, if this is about you learning that you're enough right now, here and now, in this time, and that when you're ready, you will find that abundance, or your ideas will come into fruition. But you have to be in the right time and space and receiving of it, you know. And you know, that's what I say that a lot, but it is about being ready for things. So a lot of us, we want, you know, financial abundance. Sometimes we want loving relationships, and a lot of that comes down to how you feel about yourself inside, and then that reflecting out into your reality. So how you think about yourself is what you receive. And if you've got something in the back of your mind that's, you know, there's a glitch, right? I always talk about the glitch, where there's a lot of us that don't think, like we might put that out there. Everyone says that we feel like we're enough, but then there's this thing at the back of us that's saying, no, you're not enough. You're not enough. You don't have the goods. You know, that's somebody else's voice. That's somebody else's something that's put that in there. It's probably saying it in your voice, but it's not your thought, and it's not your energy. It's somebody else. That's somebody else's limitation. So yeah, we have to understand to shift that. We actually have to bring that energy into the light. So we have to take that subconscious glitch that we have of not feeling like we have enough or do enough or are enough, and then move it to the light and understand that we are already enough and have already been enough for a very long time. And, you know, I struggle with it too. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, it's in the human consciousness. It's literally a shadow of the human psyche. Yeah. Because here was 7. You got 7 of Swords and Page of Swords. That's your spiritual guidance. That's an interesting angle to take it. Thank you very much, Spirit Guides, for taking it down that road. So 7 of Swords can also often refer to deception or dodgy people, or negative thoughts. Okay, you can tell straight away with that stabbing in the back. For me, and I'm gonna just be straight up with that Page of Swords and the 7 of Swords. There is this thought pattern in your mind that doesn't allow you to be successful. This is what I talked about, the glitch. And Spirit wants to bring it to the light by showing you what it does. Okay? So it's sort of like a space and time where someone hurt you and you haven't been able to move past that space, or stabbed you in the back, or really, and you were young at that time. You were fairly young, I would say, with that Page of Swords when this happened. You were still learning about things. So Page of Swords can often mean about someone stalking you or watching you, but I feel like for you it's just referring to a time when you were younger that someone hurt you, okay? And it's sort of like wanting you to know that that's them, not you. That's their thought, their limitation, not yours, and you have to mature, because that's what I was saying before. There's this sort of energy with that Knight of Wands can be quite fun and free, but often self-destructive after a very heavy period, and trying to find a balance by being the extreme version of it. So you go from trying to be responsible and trying to bring things in, and then doing the counterbalance, which is the complete opposite, and then having to confront the situation again and being a little bit stuck. So if you can understand that now is the time to bring light to the shadow, or the shadow. The shadow refers to psychological things that hold us back. you know, like memories, thoughts, feelings, or moments in time that hold us back from being able to move forward. Because it's almost like you had all these ideas. That's what I want to say. You were at the beginning stages of bringing forward a lot of ideas. You were learning, you were training, you were expanding, but always walking that thin line, because you knew behind you there was something that I was always telling you, that this was risky business. That was risky business. It was a risk, and or that it wouldn't work. So I want you to know that that isn't real. It isn't real. It's just a mindset, or not a mindset, but it's just a little whisper that you don't have to listen to anymore. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? That you don't have to listen to that voice anymore. And then bringing it to the light means that when that comes up, when you go into a space of trying to bring about or bring into fruition your ideas, to have solid ground there and know that you actually can bring something forward, and it will come forward when you're ready. And it's almost saying the reason why this fruit hasn't fruited yet, or your tree hasn't fruited yet, is because this has been holding you back. It's almost like every time I would get a fruit or a little bulb, I'm sorry, it's coming out like that, a little, you know, you see the little orange starting to grow on the tree, someone would cut it off. But it's someone, if that's not a mindset of you being a little bit self-destructive, it's someone else that's coming along. But swords are thoughts and communication. So don't let them chip at you. Don't let them take away from you what you are creating, because what you're creating is important to you. And it's sort of like, you know, take that message that I had put out before, and that was like, release the dark wound and let love live. Let your ideas live. Let them come to life, and let them be what they are, and know that they're enough. Okay. Whew. I was like, wow, you got to give me these two cards to give her spiritual guidance. I was like, that's not easy to do, because of the way that those two connection and the cards can be quite heavy, but it's very blunt, is what I want to say, very straightforward. So thank you, Kita. And I send you lots of love, because I know that can't be easy, but you know you have enough in you to do it, to be strong and find your way through. Hey, cuz. Hey, cuz. Yeah, it is a bit heavy. It's a lot, but it's almost like, you know, truthful for you, you know, to understand what's going on, or just to see the code behind that pattern that's playing out right now. Better today. I just came out, it was 11 to 11. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to go do a live reading. Just to come forward and share some spiritual space with everyone. And how are you doing? Thank you, Kita. Thank you. Thank you for the roses, cuz. Appreciate you. Just gonna... Okay, now we have Pam. Are you still here, Pam? I know there was a bit of a long wait. Thank you, Kaz. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. All right. Yeah. It is, isn't it? Because we all felt that, didn't we? I think we all need to understand that is a shadow in the collective psyche. Because we all share it. We all have this weird, you know, like that's why I do a lot of videos of saying you are enough. You are enough. I do. If you follow me, you'll see it all the time. You are enough, because I need those reminders too, to tell me when, you know, when you all like it and they pop up randomly in my inbox, and I always look at the messages, because sometimes I need those messages too, and to remind myself that I'm enough, because we all have this shadow aspect that we share, you know, and it's okay. You have a lovely day too. You're welcome. Yeah, we all have to heal it so it lessens, you know, in the collective consciousness. Hey, I just want to say that my messages are sometimes what we need and not what we want. And it can be very frustrating if we have set ideals about what we're going to receive in a reading. Okay? But let's get it on, Pam. Let's get it on. Thank you for the roses. After Pam, I'll take on a few more names. Pam, what wants to come forward for your current energy, please? It's making up its mind. Okay. That was pretty fast. Anything else? Anything else? You got a lot. I'm going to stop there because I feel like there's more, but I'm only going to deal with surface level stuff right now. So here we have the Five of Pentacles, the World card, the Eight of Cups, and the Knight of Cups. So I'm getting a heavy sensation in my solar plexus, and like it feels really heavy actually. Like a density. Okay. So you might be feeling a little bit down and out, Pam. It's weird because I just feel like this draining down into my tummy. And here we have Five of Pentacles with the World. Oh gosh. Okay. And the Eight of Cups with the Knight of Cups. Okay. So current situation with the Five of Pentacles and the World card, I just heard, when will it end? Like literally, I heard the phrase, when will it all end? And I feel like, so my Five of Pentacles is usually a card that indicates a lot of abandonment issues, loneliness, being excluded, you know, just missing out or missing. And with the World card, that is the end of karmic cycles, you know. Wheel of Fortune, the World card, things coming full circle. I feel like you're reaching out a lot across the world, literally. Yeah. Because I keep saying world, reaching across the world. Like I'm trying to interpret what's coming forward. And here with the Five of Pentacles with the World card, it's like, when are things going to start working out for me? You know, like it's like that. When are things going to start working out for me? When will it all end? As in the negativity or me missing out on things or feeling like I'm being left out or abandoned. Like that's quite, it feels a little dramatic when I say it, but it feels like that's like a lot of inner chat that's happening inside you. And it's almost like, when is my karma going to shift? Like you feel like you have a lot of bad luck or a lot of negative karma in your energy, but you're actually going through a life lesson. We have to understand that when we go through life lessons, we have to learn the lesson, acknowledge it, and then apply what we've learned to our lives, and then we break the cycle of negativity. And here with the Eight of Cups, like the Eight of Cups is about walking away, and yet there's a message of love coming in with the Knight of Cups. So you might be letting go of people, and I'm just going to say this nonchalantly, people that want to have romantic encounters with you or be romantic with you. You're just sort of like not having time for them right now because inside you're feeling a lot of, you know. If you're in a relationship, I just want to say, if you are in a relationship, I feel like this is just someone trying to spice it up and you're not really in the mood for it like that. And if you're not in a relationship, I feel like you're just not in the mood for love. You know, you want it, but it's a weird thing that a lot of us do, is that we want love, but we don't want love. You know, we can feel quite desperate about being in love with people or wanting that love connection with someone, but not ever feeling like we can really truly be loved. And I feel like with your energy, I'm going to put you on afterwards, Andrew. And I feel like in your energy, it's Like there's a lot of stuff that you're learning about yourself. And the thing is, there could be actually a lot of love around you, but because you're not engaging with it or not open to see it, you're not receptive to receive it. And you may be missing out on opportunities for love or a refreshment of love. Because I feel like with that Knight of Cups, even though the Knight of Cups can often mean they come into play but never to stay, but they're the ones that get the heart going. So I feel like for me it was like, I just heard that Spice Girls like, spice up your life, like it's a little bit of cha-cha, like a little bit of excitement, but you're just not seeing it or not feeling it, I would say, with the cup energy, emotionally not feeling it, because there's something inside that. So I feel like you have a lot of inner child healing that needs to be done, a lot of past issue or pain and trauma, or like where we go through a bit of self-suffering, or a mind loop that you go through a lot, where you don't feel very good about yourself, or about, it's almost like I smile on the outside but inside I'm crying. It's that energy. Hopefully that makes sense. So we just got to use the spiritual guidance, Cam. I want to check it out real good because I'm trying to catch your energy, your vibe. Because it's kind of eluding me, which is weird. Because it's almost like peekaboo. Peekaboo? Popping in. Peekaboo, I see you, and then going back in. It's like that. You're a little bit afraid to come forward. That's why I was only dealing with the surface stuff. But here with the Page of Swords in reverse and the Nine of Pentacles as your spiritual guidance. So with the Page of Swords, it can mean, it can be very blunt or rude about things, about truth. So truth can often bring us freedom, but it has to be an inner realization that allows that shift in you to happen. So like you do have a lot of stuff that go on, and a lot of it is about feeling a little bit heavy about yourself and or about love. And it's sort of like it's time to let go of the idea of someone else giving you what you need and finding that within you, finding the love for yourself and finding that independence. So it's turning that frown upside down. I don't know why they said that, but that's what I heard in my mind, in my mind's eye. It's turning that frown upside down. It's engaging with a more positive attitude about your life and letting go, by being truthful too, by being truthful, and it could be literally about you being very truthful to others, or accepting harder or more blunter truths. I don't, blunter, is that a word? Blunt, because I just got the word blunt. Like you may have someone in your life that's very blunt, like that's, or you want to be more blunt with people. Why is that word coming in? But very honest. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry. What's going on? Who the hell is that? Did you get your college degree in swindling? Who are you, mate? Who's swindling who? Yeah. Come in for 5 seconds, bro. I'm not swindling anyone, actually. If you can see, it's all free. Yeah. Oh, you're blunt. Okay. That makes sense. Because it's just like, that's how they wanted to describe it. Blunt. Direct. Thank you. There's a bit of direct. But that also gives you freedom, because you may actually be just trying not to be so direct, but that spiritual guidance is sometimes people need boundaries. Sometimes people need boundaries, and that gives you freedom. Because here with the Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles is about independence, right? Knight of Pentacles is about finding that freedom, and I feel like that's where you were, and that's by changing the mindset, just allowing you to be you. And I don't think there's actually anything wrong with that. at all. I don't think there's actually anything wrong with you being you, and even though you do have a lot of inner healing to go through, I think it's just learning not to rely on other people to make you happy. That has to come from within, by being honest and truthful to yourself too, like being truthful to yourself. So it's about self-reflection, self-realization, to find freedom and abundance, because the Nine of Pentacles is about abundance, but that's like self-made, self-built, self-realization. Yeah, you walked away from that though. And you know what? I would say that was probably the best move you could do, because where you're heading with that Nine of Pentacles is actually to a better space. It is to a better space, but sometimes, like I said, with the Page of Swords, it can also be about learning lessons as well, truths about who you are, what you need, and what you want. And a lot of it is asking, who am I? Like looking beyond what everyone sees and looking beyond that, behind that. Who am I? Like, if anything I can offer you, it is that when you're engaging in a spiritual space or healing journey, we have to ask ourselves who we are if we aren't attached to pain, suffering, and trauma. Who is that person without all that? That's why I said inner child is learning to go back to the child that didn't have all that, that societal conditioning and all the pain that you've suffered in your life. Who was that person? What were her hopes and dreams, and what did she want to do with her life? And learning to tap into the inner child to allow us to have a younger, fresher, it's like I said, a refreshing, fresher way of looking at our lives. Because it's from that youthful aspect that, dreams are possible, that there's hope. And when we tap into that, we learn who we are, and we're in that space of finding that middle ground, and we're present. And then when we're present, tapping into our higher selves and seeing a fuller potential for our lives. So, yeah. Yeah, so hopefully that made sense. Just keep doing what you're doing by being you and being truthful to you and finding freedom in that. Because I think it's more like elevating the mindset and knowing that you've made the right moves and acknowledging that you have. So thank you very much for that. So sorry that I got a little bit gangster in there, but when someone comes in and tries to tell me I'm swindling, I get quite offensive because it's not true. I'm actually not asking for anything. So I don't know where the swindling comes in from. And plus, it's an American way of thinking, not so much international, guys. You have to understand that. International, everybody thinks the same in different countries. Not everyone was raised the same and brought up with the same philosophies, and sometimes we give from the bottom of our hearts because that's what we're made to do. No, it's alright, it just popped in. You get the haters, it is what it is. But I just wanted to make that very clear. I'm a very kind person, but I'm not a pushover at all. Especially when it comes to people, I'll match the energy. And it's not always nice, the energy I get given. But I do it from a place of love and compassion. Yeah, I am, actually. Thank you. Thank you, Cass. I didn't know who that person was anyway. They just pop in. They like to say their negativity. It takes more energy to give negative comments than it is to just move along. I think sometimes you got to come in and be open to it, with an open mind and an open heart. And if he had sat there for 5 minutes, just a little bit longer than however much he judged me in 5 seconds, then you would find that I'm not swindling anyone. I'm giving what I get. That's it. It resonates or it doesn't. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to actually be offensive to any American in my chat, but it's just that philosophy, that word, that's not necessarily how other countries think and do, and we don't necessarily want to hustle or swindle people. Some people just do it naturally because it's what we're made to do. Yeah. So I didn't want to feel like I was just lashing out at everybody. But it's usually I'm not gonna be thing, but it's usually the white American Christian men that come in and say stuff like that. But I'll defend myself because, if they were to listen, I know where I come from. I actually have a very strong Christian background, and I do believe in the things that they believe in. But I was lucky. I had my grandparents, and they were kind people, so they didn't judge people. They never did. That's one thing I like about my grandparents. And my grandfather, he actually ran a halfway house where he took in a lot of Maori boys that were outcasts of society, and he helped them by caring for them. Actually, it was called Shiloh House, and I named my son Shiloh because of the fact that it was for a home for unwanted boys, or boys that had been put into the system, like they were all sorts. They came from all sorts of runs of life, and usually from that hard knock life, where we came from families where they were abused, where they were beaten, where they were just abandoned, and took them on. And when they were a lot older, my grandparents, when they did that, and they did that because they were in service and wanted to help people. And that's true Christianity. It's generosity of the heart, not so much the judgment. Leave that up to God. Let God judge me and see what He says. But don't think that you're God and can judge me. That's why I get upset. Well, not upset, but just get a bit peed off, because I've seen what like a righteous Christian family can do, and they can do a lot of good, not a lot of damage. So yeah, thanks guys for listening to that. I always stand up for that because, I never want to be disrespectful to my grandparents who loved their God and they stood for the right things in life. And I hate it when people come in with a distorted way of seeing their religion and putting that distortion on other people's ideas and energy when it doesn't relate. Oh, thank you. Hello. Yeah, because, here's the cool thing about, what I like about being, Māori, being a Māori, is that we have this whānau, tato, sharing is caring, and we care for our own, and we don't send our elderly away, we care for them, we don't cast our family out, we care for them as a family, as a community. And when my grandfather was actually guided, he was highly spiritual, and he was guided by his God to care about the children that were being thrown out, especially the boys. And the thing is, what he did is that he turned a lot of them around. He turned a lot of them around just by being loving and compassionate. And when he passed, they all showed up, all those guys. Because I grew up with a lot of them, because I was with my grandparents a lot. So I grew up with a lot of them, knowing them in the church and in their life. And they all showed up when he passed away, because they cared about him, because he cared about them. And that's true Christianity. That's true. That's the religion of being human. We care about each other, we look after each other, and stop judging each other based on being different or different ways of living our lives, and just come back to the humanity of it all. Oh, thank you. I try my best. Sometimes I can be a little bit gangster too if I need to. It is what it is. All right. So let's see. I think it was Andrew and Lexi. Andrew, are you still here? I had to learn, last year was a good year for me to learn how to counterbalance or understand what the counterbalance is. And that was learning to be able to love my grandfather because I had him up on a high pedestal, and I found he was very human. He was a very human man. He wasn't this guardian angel. He was a human being. But love him and what he stood for. And also love my father, who I was estranged from, who was the complete opposite to my grandfather. And, it was almost like, how did I describe it? With God and the devil, these two sides of me that I had to learn to love both and find that balance in between, and accept my father for who he was and what he was and accept my grandfather for who he was and what he was, and realize I was made of both. Made from both. And that's learning to have acceptance in all things, in others as well, within yourself and with others. Alright, Andrew and Lexi, you're very welcome. Yeah. And that was a really strong learning I had to go through last year, and being guided. I was actually guided back to my family's, where my dad's family was from, and we realized that I wouldn't get emotional. I belonged there too, because I often didn't feel like I belonged. And, actually reaching out to my father and creating that bridge. And often I had closed the door, and I was like, that's your journey, that's your path, I'm on my path, we're two separate beings. But realizing that we're one and the same, and allowing that space to be open. Yeah. And that's embracing the darkness of my energy too. Alright, Andrew and Lexi. Oh, Andrew. I just wanted to shuffle, but we've got the Queen of Swords jumping out there. Thank you for being patient. Just going to ground down into your energy and knock at the door of your spiritual house and ask for permission. All you need to do is open the door. Andrew. So I let, so when I know it's time to move and connect in is when my body will completely relax after breathing. Because sometimes people they'll hold energy. They hold energy, and when they fully open up, it is easier for me to relax into the energy. So I've had to learn to work with energy and not work against it. Let's just put it like that. Alright, Andrew. See your current energy, Andrew. I would like to come forward. I heard the word very meticulous. I don't know why. You might be very detail orientated. Anything else? Okay. Well, I just heard a song. It's by Craig David. I don't know if you know who that is, but he sang the song called "Walking Away." From the drama in my life, I'm walking away to find a better day. That's what he sings. I don't want to sing it because, right now, I'm not happy. But I feel like with the Three of Cups, you got the Three of Cups in reverse, the Six of Swords, and the Page of Pentacles. So I feel like you've got out of a situation. I don't think it was a situation that served you. I feel like with that Six of Swords, there's a movement forward out of chaos into calmness, and with that Page of Pentacles, a solid offer or solid grounding. Because I feel like you've gone through a space of either feeling a little bit stagnant or going through a space of trying to understand things from a higher perspective. Sorry, just let me get some water. Because I feel like you either fell out of, because I heard fell out of alignment. And it's talking, because for me it's about the stars. Usually I'll say the stars have aligned. But when I saw it in reverse, it said things became unaligned. You fell out of alignment with what you had set forward to do. And it may have actually propelled you into a space of mental turmoil or a lot of high functioning overthinking. And you're just trying to find the calmness in it all. Like you're just trying to settle and become more stable. And it's sort of like, okay, how do I say that? It's like they chopped your leg off and you're trying to learn how to stand again. I hope that makes sense. Or walk again. Something happened where it felt like they took a piece of you, if that makes sense. That they took a piece of you and you had to learn to walk again, because for some odd reason, with that Page of Pentacles, literally, when I looked at that, they said they chopped your leg off. It felt brutal at the time, I would say. It felt very brutal. That's why why it was just so fast. I think you weren't expecting that at all, and you've had to learn to stand up again, and you feel like you're at the beginning again. You've had to start over again as well. So there's a lot. Yeah, I feel like you literally had to pack your bags and go somewhere else. Because usually with the Six of Swords, it's about moving across, and out. So I feel like you've had to, if you haven't moved physically in your life, you've just moved away from the situation that you felt very connected to or emotionally attached to. And I feel like it is emotionally attachment. It's an emotional attachment, but it's sort of like, I just want to say, it all like turned to shit. That's how it came out. I just kind of turned a little bit crazy there, and I kind of had to get out of that situation, but I wasn't too sure if I'd made the right decision. Like, there's a lot of that. And all having control over the thoughts of it, making sense. Make it make sense to you, why it happened. And then in having to start again or refreshing, because Page of Pentacles can be a solid offer coming forward, or it can be a new beginning into something more stable. So there's very different ways of seeing that card. But like for you, I feel like it's just you having to start again. You may be an earth sign, you may not be. You may be a water sign, you may be an air sign. But I feel like with that Page of Pentacles, it's just finding solid ground again, and learning how to do things again. And I don't think if it's like relearning how to live your life, I think, but just like starting again, like having to learn to be a little bit more humble too. It's humbled you, if anything, if that makes sense. So I'm going to get your spiritual guidance. See what comes forward. Anything else? No. Okay. Yeah, because it was a hell of a confusing time for you, I would say, emotionally. That's why the memories were playing a lot, or if not emotionally, why the mind kept focusing back. So you got the Knight of Pentacles upright, that slow and steady movement forward, but the Ten of Swords in reverse as well. So the Ten of Swords upright is the end of a painful cycle. And the Ten of Swords in reverse is actually, for me, I always interpret it as being overcoming that painful cycle. Like the reverse of a negative card would be a positive aspect to it. And I feel like you're just slowly but surely, I want to say this to you, to take your time in this process, because we can't rush it. Because when we rush it, it reignites that pattern of karma again. It starts again. So as in that situation could appear more and more and more in your life, or appear again in your life, because you haven't gone through the full process of healing it and letting it go and releasing it. So for you, slow and steady wins the race, which I like, because I did put up a message about that earlier, about taking your time, to breathe and enjoy the process of healing, which may not always be fun. But I feel like you have a good heart, you have good intentions, and there's nothing, like I said, you had to learn to walk again, so it's learning to walk forward in a way that allows you to know that each step you take is a steady step forward, a solid one, because there's no going back, is there? There's no going back with your energy. There's no going back in time and redoing that. You can only focus forward. You can only take the lessons of the past with this Ten of Swords and take it forward with you, and not so much as a hindrance, but a shield. A shield. Yeah, a shield. And I feel like, I just feel like, even with the Ten of Swords, if you have a look at the card, they're moving towards something else beyond the horizon, And sometimes people get removed out of our lives because they've served their purpose. If this is someone that's gone, or a situation where it came to the love space, because I feel like it might have been in the love space, or at least someone that you cared about or loved. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. But I feel like when you start understanding that you can walk again or move forward in a more steady way, and with the knowledge that you have, which is almost like making lemonade out of lemons, right? If the universe hands you lemons, you make lemonade. I say this a lot because a lot of us, we're learning to turn it around, we're learning to change it, and that we go through lessons to learn things that help us move forward easier. And though I say this a lot too, Spirit wants you to grow, and any growth is good, even if the experience is not, okay? But the growth forward, it's more like a fuel, if anything. If that Ten of Swords is anything for you, is a shield to protect you, but also fuel to make you move forward so that you don't stay stuck in situations that don't serve you, or with people that don't serve you, or with attachments that do not serve you at all. So just keep moving forward, because slow and steady will win the race, and use that knowledge of the past to propel you into a better way of being. So thank you, Andrew. Hopefully that made sense. And thank you. Yeah, I feel like it was pretty confusing there for a bit. And your energy was a little bit confusing. And what you were dealing with, like, how do I get through this? Like, seeking solutions and not knowing if they're the right ones or the right decisions. But when we feel guided to do things, sometimes, like, it may not make sense in the moment, but when you follow through with it, you'll find how everything just magically works out. Well, not magically, but that magic is there for it to work out. Okay, Lexi, very welcome. Yep. Okay. Or did I miss anyone else? Sorry. Oh, it's Johnny. I don't know who that person is. Sorry. Okay. All right. Steph. I'm just Stephanie. I'll put your name down. It's our time. Lexi and Stephanie. Let's do it. Are you there, Lexi? I think you are. I think I've seen you. Me, are you on one? Snowbird? Snowbird wants one. Okay. I'll put you guys down. Kalani? And Snowbird. Okay, Snowbird. I'm glad you asked one. I would never pressure you to get one, but it's always nice for you to listen and then want to have one. So here we go, Lexi. Sorry if I missed you out. I mean, if you put your name forward before and I didn't see it, I'm sorry. Lexi. Sorry, I had to look at my percentage on my phone. Cutting it fine. Okay, let's see. Let's have a look at your current energy. Let's have a look at your current energy. What wants to come forward? Is there anything else? Okay. So you got a lot of cards. Alright. Current energy. You have the Queen of Cups. That was a little bit, it was like sideways. So I think you need to realize your value in the current situations that you're in, Queen of Cups. But I like the Queen of Cups, because the Queen of Cups is about nourishment. All the queens are about receptivity, about balancing the emotions, about psychic energy. She's usually very intuitive, so you might be just coming to the understanding that you are intuitive. And what came forward together, and I want to have this together, was the Six of Cups in reverse and the Page of Pentacles, and then separately the Two of Swords. So it's just how the cards want to stick together in their own way, so they have their own sort of energy. So with the Queen of Cups, you may be coming into the knowledge or knowing you may be a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces as well, or at least have that in your star chart, because we all have a little bit of everything in our star chart, our natal chart. Cancer moon maybe, because I always like Cancer moons, just saying. But it's sort of like coming to the understanding of who you are emotionally, energetically, intuitively, letting go of the past here with the Six of Cups. I was like, see you later, starting in you, going into a more solid space with you. Like, it would make sense. It's sort of like understanding who I am allows me to see what doesn't resonate with me, and thus propelling me forward into a new way of being, a little bit more mindful of the health and of the body, a little bit more nourishing to the soul, but also Two of Swords, learning to trust and believe in your intuition. Now the Two of Swords is very much a no card, but if you understand here, she's blindfolded and she has to learn to discern what is hers, what isn't hers, what is good for her, what is not good for her, and what she can trust and believe in. And if anything, you can believe and trust in your intuition, at least that inner knowing. If you're not becoming intuitive or not understanding that you are highly intuitive, I would be surprised, but it can also mean that you're learning to organize your thoughts in a way that's more conducive for you as a person, or more productive. I feel like you're trying to be more productive as a whole being anyway. And you with the Queen of Cups coming into the knowledge of who you are and understanding and loving, bringing love to that space, because sometimes we have to know who we are to actually love ourselves, because then we see ourselves. That value is important at this time, and the more we value ourselves, the more that raises the collective consciousness. So I encourage that. Know that you're enough. Know that you can actually trust in who you are and where you're going, and letting go of things and starting again doesn't mean that it's going to be hard or that it's going to be easy either. Sometimes you have to find your way, and that allows us to grow in our own unique patterns, in our own unique life, if that's important to you, because I feel like I just heard Pisces, so you might have a lot of water in your chart, because that's that Pisces has that that need to be authentic, to self and original, and learning to be the main character in the story of your life. So I'm going to bring forward your spiritual guidance. But yeah, I really want to bring this in, that sometimes when we're first learning that we're highly intuitive or sensitive, because sensitive, I mean, if you're in the empathic stage, where you're seeking, and then you have to understand that when we become very sensitive, we are also sensitive to other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and that we have to learn and trust that we can discern what is ours and what is not ours. That's a skill set, that's a tool that we need. Oh, that's awesome. You are. Everyone is in this chat, everyone. Hi. Hi, Gabby. Everyone is intuitive. They're just, whether or not they're attuned to it or not. And the thing is, I know that often, like psychic energy or intuitive space has always been very much kept to the elite people, or like an elite sense, like, oh yeah, she's super intuitive and she's a psychic, so she's above everyone else. No. Just because we have intuitive skills doesn't set us aside. We're still human, okay? So we have to understand that as human beings, we're divine and human as one, and not to pull it apart. Hi, hey. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to get your spiritual guidance. Anything else? Okay, I'll take that one. Yeah, the shadows in my... So I got that song stuck in my head. So, okay. So you You have the Seven of Swords. I don't know why they keep showing me everybody's shadow, which is okay. I'm not afraid to look. But here we have the Seven of Swords with the Knight of Swords. Okay? And the Four of Wands as your spiritual advice. And it always feels like it's going to come forward negative because we're always apprehensive with the Seven of Swords because they can mean deception, dodgy people, or negative thought patterns. And I feel like, okay, thank you. I heard that very loud. Thank you. Is that you often rush to the negative way of thinking about yourself. It's almost like an instant. It's almost like you're somebody that's like, things are going way too good right now. You're looking, you're vigilant. That's the empathic, like I said. When we're an initiate into spiritual space, we're in our empathic space, which is about the seeking and the sensitivity. So when you learn to be more clear-sentient, you become more heart-centered and grounded, and the ability to discern is easier. But it's almost like with that Two of Swords, it's sort of like moving us into the space of Seven of Swords. Whenever you get negative feelings, you always think that it's about you and that it is you. But actually, it's not. It's very much not. And you have to let go of that self-destructive mindset or thought patterns that take you down. Like literally, it's almost like you're the hunter and the prey. You know what I mean? It's like you see yourself flying in the sky, you love it, and then you get the bow and arrow, you go, shoot it down. Yep, you shoot yourself down. It's almost like, if I can just say that, I know that in the past, people have done that to you, and that you've taken that on as yours, but it's not. It's theirs. And the more we understand that is someone else's limitation, and that you're not the thoughts in your head. You're not the thoughts. There are intuitive voices in your head that want to speak, but you're not hearing them. You know they're there. You can sense them, but you're not quite at the state of hearing them clearly. It's sort of distorted because the filtering system is a negative way of thinking. And you won't understand your intuition if your vibration is negative. It has to be positive. See that? And flow. So we have to get to a flow state where we're grounded, we're happy. See, the thing about the Four of Wands is about family, home, and stability. But that home is where the heart is, right? In the heart. So you need to move from being an empath to a clear sentient where you have control over what comes in and out. So you have to go home, here, to the heart, and learn to feel things. And learn to go into the flow of your energy and not against it or run away from it or have that fear come in, that lower vibration to come in and disturb the celebration of your life. So I would say for you is that you can actually really start listening and hearing. I feel like your main ability is clairaudience, literally sound. That's why you can hear voices but you can't discern them because of the distortion of the way that your mind works against you. Because you like get a knowing, and as soon as you get a knowing, you think, and then something happens or plays out, and then you're like, oh wow, I should have listened to my intuition. I should have listened to that knowing. And that's because you need to let that go. Let that negative mindset of self-destructive energy go. Because it stops you from really understanding who you are. Which is someone that's actually really, really, you're really, really cool. You're really, really good. You're fun-loving. You're family-orientated. You're happy. That person deserves to shine and have some fun and celebrate who you are in your life. And you'll find that you are the Queen of Cups. Not sure if you are. You are. Okay? Thank you, Lexi, for that. That was actually really nice. I know that it always comes in like the thing is, the downside to the spirit is that they're so truthful, direct. And I try to say it in a way that's gentle, even though the cards would be like, just tell her this, say it. And I do say it, don't get me wrong, I do say it, but I try to say it in a way that's gentle so that, you know, if someone says, oh, you know, oh, you're too negative, you need to be positive. What is that going to heal? What is that going to help you with? What kind of guidance do you get from that? Nothing. You get nothing from it. So it's sort of like learning to give it to you in a way that is more palatable for the mind and for the heart. So thank you. Thank you, Lexi. Yes. Yes, it is free reading. You're very welcome. And thank you for your likes and roses as well. Appreciate you. Okay, Stephanie, you stay out there. Onyx, how are you? Thank you for your comment. You know, I really appreciated your comment that you put on my video. Like I'm always like grateful when I have that kind of support come in. And yeah, I want a hug. I love hugs. I'd love to meet you and have a hug. That'll be lovely. And you know, when I try to show the vulnerable parts of me too, and I share that, because it's not easy. I'm a Capricorn rising, so I like to have everyone think I'm calm and collected. But you know, like, you know, my eyeballs were swollen, and I couldn't even smile properly. I couldn't, you know, like the struggle was actually literally sitting in front of the camera and looking at myself and struggling to look, and then going into the comments and seeing comments like that. Oh man, you know how much that lifts me. It lifts. And it's not that I'm seeking that validation, but it's just so nice to have, you know, a lot of people love and support me, even the kids, coming in and saying that she loves me, things like that. It helps, man. You know, when people are in hard spots and they're healing, I'm going to put you on there, Onyx. In that hard healing spaces, that it's always nice to have people, literally, it's like you're all standing there shining your light on me and letting me know where not to walk and where not to trip over, and it allows me a smoother path out of that dark space. And it's lovely, you know, that spiritual support. Who is that? Hey everyone, tune into Jenna Bix. Can you put that on your live? Thank you. That's because it's the shift. It's the shift. So sometimes we're dark and sometimes we're light. You know, it is literally that. Yeah, we're never alone. Yeah. No, it was lovely. And I appreciate everyone that popped in and said a little bit of encouragement. And you'd be surprised how fast that kind of that weight, you know, when we all start learning to work together and helping each other and lifting that up, lifting the weight up so that people can move. It helps so much. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the showcasing of their things, but like, there's not even heaps of people in here. It's like, why are you fishing? Okay. So Stephanie, I'm sorry. Did Stephanie say she was there? Everything nice. I'm gonna put you on. Everything nice. I have to be mindful that I need to get my charger. Okay. Stephanie? Thanks, Kaz. Thank you. Adrian, how do I get it ready? I'm taking a few names. Oh, I'm just waiting to see if Stephanie's there, but she might be gone now. Okay, Intuitive Weaver. I'll take some more names if I have time. She's not in the room. Okay. So Intuitive Weaver. This is Hawani. Give her a follow, guys. She's awesome. Let's have a look. Woo. Get you back in. Get you back into that zone. instant relaxation. I was like, oh, honey. Oh, where you going? Going on a trip on your favorite rocket ship, moving through the sky. Little Einstein's right. Oh, okay. So in your current energy, you got the World, the Four of Pentacles. Okay. And the Magician. So it's interesting because what I want to say is with your energy with the World and the Four of Pentacles is it's almost like what I first heard was save your pennies for a rainy day. Save your pennies for a rainy day, because when it all comes in, you're going to need it. And it's because what's happening in your energy is that with that Magician energy is there's a lot of things that are actually happening and conspiring without you. It's almost like a surprise, because I just feel like this. I just want to do this with my hands. And there's a lot of things that are going to be happening for you energetically. And it's almost like going to be instant, and it's going to be like, whoa, so it's more like, I want to say with that Four of Pentacles, it's not so much the pennies as in physical money. It's literally, okay, well, I just seen an orb go straight across the front of my camera. That kind of freaks me out. All right, sorry. It's more about, I want to say pennies from heaven. That's what I wanted to say. It wasn't so much the pennies in your purse, but the pennies from heaven. So I feel like these little nuggets or spiritual gifts that have been emerging in your energy, and a lot of it's to do with hands. Well, you are a weaver, but so much more than that. And it's almost like it's this weird sensation of me wanting to just pluck these pennies up and put them in my purse. So it's almost like saving up your spiritual energy, because when you're going to have to really rely on it at some point, when it's almost like the floodgates open and things start really moving fast. Now the World card can also mean international travel and or international trade. So you may be, business-wise, this is a good time where this is going to be happening, but also remember to save something for yourself. Save something for yourself. That's what the pennies are. That intuitive space. So save something for yourself. Don't just exhaust your reserves. Sorry. This could mean energetically or spiritually. So don't just blast it all out and then not have enough for you. So don't forget to save your pennies for a rainy day for yourself. And know that the universe is conspiring in your favor. I'm going to bring in some spiritual guidance. Yeah. Okay. So another very direct message. You got the Four of Cups with the Nine of Swords in reverse and the Seven of Pentacles. Now, Seven of Pentacles has been coming up a lot. So there's a lot about divine timing. Things are coming in divine timing. So Four of Pentacles, I know it might be a little bit monotonous. I know what you're doing might be a little bit repetitive, and you might be getting a little bored of that space and wanting to expand. And a lot of it is about you overcoming thoughts and feelings that might be like, okay, how do I just... So for what I want to say is that it feels like you want to move forward, okay, but there's a lot of this holding back, and I don't feel like it's literally you holding back. It's you that wants to move forward, but in the same respect, Spirit is saying, hold your horses. Like, because in your current energy, when this opens, when like the big ideas are really coming in, okay, just be mindful not to share all your ideas with other people. I don't know why I want to say that, but that was something that wanted to come in. Not to share. It's almost like moving when it comes to this insight or inspiration to move in silence. Thank you. You might have some big ideas coming up. Just to be mindful of who you share that with. But I know that what you're doing, it may feel a little bit not monotonous, and there may be not much movement. But you're in this time, in this interim that you've been going through. You've been actually overcoming a lot of mindsets and thoughts that in the past have really weighed you down. So I feel like you might be feeling like you're missing out on opportunities, or this FOMO, fear of missing out. But not to worry, because here with the Seven of Pentacles, things are brewing. Like I said, in the background, things are brewing in the background of your life. It's sort of like underneath the ground, underneath it all, there's something. And same as with that Magician. Energetically and physically in your life, there's things happening underneath it all, underneath the surface. Hold your horses. Yeah, okay. It's weird. Do you bet on horses? I don't know why I want to say that. But anyway, sort of just like let it happen, because when it happens, it will be intense. And that's why they want you to save your pennies for a rainy day. Save something for you. Don't use all your energy. Don't share all your ideas too easily with others. And I only say that in a way that's beneficial, just so that you don't have their opinions and that weighing on you as well. I know that you're very thoughtful about where you want to structure yourself and where you want to go. And it's sort of like, I know that you're also feeling a little bit stuck, or it feels a little repetitive at this time, but sometimes we've got to go through those periods. Like, I'm just going to say this, my kids are going to hate it. Sometimes we, like with our kids, they have growth spurts, right? And they get a little bit chunky, and they get a little bit like they fill out, and you think to yourself, geez, you've gotten a little bit chunky, you're getting quite thick. And then 2 days later, they have like this intense growth spurt, and they're like 2 feet taller. And you're like, oh, that's why you are storing that energy up, because when that growth spurt starts, it's going to be, you know what I mean? So I feel like I know that things aren't moving at the pace that you want, but when it does, and like I said, for some odd reason, saving your pennies up for a rainy day, it just keeps coming in. Because when it does come, you're going to need it. And I feel like it's just that energy to move forward. But I think it's actually really good luck with that World card coming out. End of old cycles, moving into new cycles, and that also means karma for me. And also about international trade and business, moving forward with ideas, knowing the universe works well with you or working for you, and that even though you are in a space of not always moving forward in the way as fast as you want, there's a good time to reflect and realign to what is coming forward for you energetically, which is a lot. Yep. Okay. Yeah, but like I said, like if you have a look at this card, see how their hand is up here? This hand? See the hand? Both of them. It's weird how it does that, how the arms and the hands are 2 different cards reflecting each other or synchronizing together. The 4 of Cups with the 4 of Pentacles. It's about finding stability. Family, home. 4s are about home, family, and stability. Yeah, you're pretty close, cuz. You should. Why not? I don't think that you should limit yourself on what you do. You could do a lot. Actually, yes. I'm going to say yes. The universe says yes. I'll say yes. Okay. A snowbird. Are you there? Thank you, Kaz. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I think that Reiki thing is my hands got really hot when I was doing this. Like this. It's a lot of energy. Snowbird. Alright. Snowbird. Just got to do a good shuffle, Snowbird. Very welcome. You too, Kaz. Sorry, I'm just checking to find his energy because it's quite strong. in a positive way. But just so that I can discern between yours and his. Okay. Weird, I just saw a mountain stand in front of me. But, you know, like when you are on a journey and you're faced with the mountain, it's like you're going face to face with the mountain. I don't know why I want to say that, but that's just what I saw emerge. It was like a rocky mountain. And more out, not so much in the snow, but more out in the desert. You may be going on a vision quest or soul retrieval journey in the shamanic plane, in the realm of the visionary. Okay. Snowbird. Let's see what's in your current energy. Anything else? It's that Knight of Pentacles. Everyone's slowly but surely moving forward. And like learning that this is a good time to slow down and walk steadily on your path. Especially when you're moving forward into a space of clarity, truthfulness, honesty, humbleness. I love that energy came out for you actually with that Knight of Pentacles. So you only got 2 cards for your current energy and the Knight of Cups. That was actually in reverse, but I didn't want to show it to you in reverse, so I flipped it. But I want to be honest to say it came out in reverse, but I know why. And here with the Nine of Pentacles, you definitely have been on a journey for a long time, because the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. Yeah, it is definitely. And the thing about the Knight of Pentacles, as I said, it's the slowest moving knight, but is the most sincere of all the knights that move forward. So whatever quest that you are on, or I feel like it's a quest, like it's been bestowed to you, like I literally feel that kind of energy, like you've been appointed or you've accepted a mission, a quest, a vision quest. I want to say vision quest for you, even though with the Nine of Pentacles is very much about the physical body. I feel like it's been hard to move through your physical life. I feel like these pentacles haven't always been abundance for you, that there's sometimes been burdens, and the journey through slowly but surely casting them off has been a long and hard one. And with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, it can often mean that there has not been any emotional satisfaction, but I actually want to, it's weird how I want to talk to you, because I want to talk in the realms of the soul. I want to say soul satisfaction. That's what you're looking for. That's what you've been searching for all this time. And it's sort of like understanding that the treasure is within you, but also around you. And it's buried deep. And the thing about the Knight of Pentacles is that despite all the bumps and turns and twists and divine detours in their life, they still move forward with that heartfelt integrity and intention to find that treasure or to complete the mission. Like it's like no matter what life has thrown at you, and no matter what could have stopped you, you still choose to keep moving forward because that's what feels right to you. And it hasn't always led you into happy situations. I don't know if you have a knee injury, or because I can't stop rubbing my knee, or something on your leg space that has been injured in the past, because I want to put my hands on my knee, and I feel like that's a connection to your physical aspect. So it might have been hard walking forward. You might have had a few physical ailments that could have been the issue as well. But it's sort of like there's like um, this gentleness to you, but like a almost like a gentleman as well. You know, like someone that's very courteous and very respectful to people, like that you would use your manners in all aspects of your life, even though sometimes people may not always return it the same way. Like that's the type of person that you are. That you're just very kind. And you know, I just want to say sometimes life is not always great to the people that have the sweetest hearts, and it's because of that purity of your heart that you often get bestowed with the heaviest journey. And that's what I mean by bestowed. It's a weird way in which I want to talk. It's slightly romantic. You know, like how they would talk in the movies with the knights and that it's like that. It was bestowed. Whether this is either spiritually, I would say you're definitely on a spiritual journey, and that you're seeking to find soul satisfaction in your life. It's already there with you, but it's just understanding that it is. And like a lot of that, and it's funny because I feel like you know, we've discussed this earlier, but it's literally telling me that you've literally, I'll say literally, that you've cast off the need to own things, to have things, because you've learned that you can't carry them with you. So it's almost like a waste of time and energy. And what status is more fulfilling than the status of knowing that your soul feels complete? You just got to bring in your spiritual guidance. Oh, you got a lot. Arthritis. Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah. Is that the knee? Rubbing of the knee? Woo! Your spiritual guidance is pretty interesting. So I don't know why it reacted that way, but it's quite powerful. Here we have the Chariot, the Tower, and the Queen of Swords. Oh, sorry. The Chariot, the Tower, and the Queen of Swords. Yeah, because I want to say to you that the reason why the Chariot with the Tower, you know how I talked about, you know, the knights, the round tables, things like that, dragons, and things like that. And when I saw the tower, it emerged like a mountain. You know, it's almost like. Have you ever heard of Joseph Campbell? And it talks about the hero's journey. It's literally what everyone is doing. It's a cycle of life. And when we embark upon a spiritual journey, we actually go into the hero's journey. And they're like there's these different processes. And I would say to you, have a look on YouTube for Joseph Campbell and the hero's journey. And then you can understand the psychological processes that the hero goes through in their life. And I feel like for you is that the universe has been guiding you to many moments of transformation. And once again, transformation is not pretty or fun. It can be very hard. Tower moments, literally. Busting out some hard truths and some strong changes in your life. Very strong. Here, but with the Queen of Swords, understanding the lessons. This is what I really like about it. It's almost like reaching the top of the mountain and being at peace with all that is and has been. You know what I mean? It's literally that. Being at peace with all there is and what has been with the Queen of Swords. She's, you know, everyone always calls her like the witch of the tarot, and she's the divorcee, and she's the old lady, and things like a real negative way. But actually, she has a very kind heart, but she's very truthful and direct. She is someone that people seek when they need wise counsel. And the thing is, she's kind to you, but she'll cut it off. Like if, let's just say, you got gangrene in your toe. Sorry, because it's just the way I can explain it. but your toe is dying. And the kindest thing she can do is chop that toe off. And I think she's the person that you go to chop that toe off, because she'll do it for you, to help you. And I like that with her, because I feel like your energy is knowing that you have to do what you have to do to get through. And you've been doing exactly what the universe wants you to do, and you're still on your quest. Nothing has changed for you. As in that, see, when you got the Knight of Pentacles taking your time, but Spirit is going to speed that up, and those ebbs and flows of your healing phases are going to get faster and more progressive. And then you're going to find at the end of it inner peace. Inner peace. Inner peace. Like, you know, I feel like fudge. You got me saying fudge. What's the turtle on Kung Fu Panda? Oh, I've forgotten his name. Like him. Like older and wiser and moving slowly, surely. The turtle. Remember? The tortoise and the hare. Who wins the race? The tortoise or the turtle wins by moving forward in your own way, but learning the lessons along the way. And the thing is, the only reason why I say things are going to get a bit more progressive is because you're ready to move through those spaces. You know what I mean? Yeah. Amen. Thank you. Hopefully that makes sense. It was actually a really beautiful reading. I really liked your energy. Like it kind of meets me in my soul space, because I'm not so much the romantic, but that poetic feeling, that smoothness of the soul, that deep inner meaningful kind of energy. And that's what I was getting. That's why I could literally talk to you how I would talk if I was in that spiritual space with another person. I could literally talk like that and you would understand. I'm Turtle Clan. Oh, really? That's cool. Yeah, no, that's I love the energy. Like it was almost dreamy. That's what I mean. That's why it's Vision Quest, isn't it? Is that it's like delving into the spiritual space more deeper and fuller for you, because where you've been physically it's been a hard journey there. So thank you, Snowbird. Here we have Onyx. Yeah, Onyx is still there. Yeah, very welcome. Hopefully that helps with the situation you're currently dealing with. Alright, Onyx. I've got to hurry. And then if everything nice is still in here. Onyx. Thank you guys for your likes and roses and shares and everything. Comments been wonderful. Let's see what's in your current energy. Weird. I'm going to say this, but you might do things backwards to front, because I just literally grabbed my deck upside down and the way that they turned was facing down. But I heard the song. I want to sing it because throat choke. It was upside down, boy, you turn me inside out, round and round. And when I heard that, I opened my eyes and my deck is upside down. I'm shuffling it this way, and I usually shuffle it this way. But when I looked at your cards, they were facing down the right way. So even though you might do things backwards to front, upside down, inside out, it always turns out the right way eventually. If I can understand it to be you're round and round. Sorry, about my singing. But you got the Seven of Cups and the King of Cups, both in reverse as your current energy. So I I actually want to say I like your personality because it's almost like, sort of like you can laugh at yourself too. Like you can make a mistake and laugh about it. Like, I fudged it up, and sort of have a little bit of a giggle instead of taking it to heart. Because the Seven of Cups in reverse can often mean that. Cause I just want to say that sometimes you're not of sound mind and body, but you're fully aware of this. You do things that are a little bit offbeat or not normal, is what I want to say. But it is completely who you want to be and who you should be. But sometimes it may feel, for other people, a little bit unusual or a little bit not right. But that's not fair, because it's sort of like, I don't have to be like everybody else. Why would I want to be? Why would I want to be? Like, that's how it feels. Why would I want to be like everyone else? I don't want to be like you. Like, it's very direct. And it's not that you live in a fantasy world or that you don't see reality or deal with reality. It's just your approach to things are very different. Are you like a water sign as well? Because I got the King of Cups and the Seven of Cups, which can indicate a lot of emotional stuff. But I feel like for you, when it comes to your emotions, and yep, sometimes it can be pretty negative, but it doesn't stop you. It literally doesn't stop you from still being you. Like, how like for me, like when I went through my healing stuff, it kind of stopped me in my tracks. And yep, it would pull you down and make you feel that too, but in the same respect, you have no fear at all. You've been through worse. You've seen a lot in your life. You've done a lot in your life, and that allows you to step out of these heavier times. I want to say easier, but not easier, in your own unique way. Like, that's how it feels like for me. And underneath the deck, the Eight of Cups upright. Sorry, I just flipped it over, and then there was the Eight of Cups. So all water. So it's funny, because I feel like you can detach from your emotions really fast and move towards a positive way of being once you decide that that's what you want. Once you have your heart set on changing that, it's almost like a follow through. It's like you say what you do what you say, and you say what you do. That's how you are. And you don't back off from things. You don't back down at all. Not back down. You know when to be flexible, and you know when, because that's the thing about water, right? It's a strong force. It moves through rock, but at the same respect, it's soft and flexible, but it finds, it's like this tenacity. Wow. You know what I mean? Are you dead? Who's dead? I'm sorry. Sorry, I drew that comment. People say, yeah, I feel like it's like water. Be like water, Bruce Lee. Be like water, my friend. I think you just have to go with the flow. And Eight of Cups, walking away from things that don't serve you, or letting go of old emotions that don't serve you to move forward to a brighter day. So I feel like you've just had a change of heart about your life, because I feel like in the past, life has been pretty much upside down, inside out. But in that same respect, you've learned how to turn and flow with it like water, be like water. You've learned to be strong when you've needed to be strong, and you've learned to be flexible and smooth and find a way through when you've needed to find a way through. Like, you have a very strong adaptability. And I'm a water carrier. Aquarius? What do you mean, are you a woman? Oh man. Dude. It's because I don't have 500 tons of makeup, and I'm, not showing my boobs off. Not everybody moves that way, bro. I kind of am not like a dude. No, I don't have dude parts. Aquarius, yeah. But yeah, okay. That's why you can let go of it too. we're coming into the age of Aquarius, so all that space gets heightened. And the thing about Aquarius, oh, okay, I like that too. I like that. I like that. I don't know, it's almost like, even though you have a very strong sensibility, but keeping your emotions separate, or in that Aquarius phase, emotions are really important. How you feel about things is really important. That's why you keep 1 foot in the water and 1 foot out. Like there's a beautiful vulnerability to your energy. Let's just put it like that. And then let's see what your spiritual guidance is. Four of Pentacles. It came out of reverse. Death card. It's 3 Pentacles in reverse. So you got all reverse cards, but it makes sense because your current energy was reversed. So it's almost like I've got to give it to you in the way that you would understand. With the 4, it's almost like they're upright. It's weird because I just, like when your energy came out, it was almost upside down because that's how it comes out. I don't know if that's the communication space, but and how you understand it's always sort of like back to front, if that makes sense. But here we have the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, the Death and Rebirth card in reverse, and the 3 of Pentacles in reverse. But for some odd reason, I want to say they're upright. Just looking at it from a different angle, looking at things from a different angle. And or you may be the type that likes to literally look at things from every angle around it as well. Oh, okay. So what I just saw in my mind was the Hanged Man card. So this is where, you know, we talked about the Hangman card a little bit earlier, but this is where the Hangman hangs upside down voluntarily to see things from a different perspective. You're more open to things. It's just that. Oh, thank you. I tried my best. I didn't put on heaps of makeup today. But yes, no. Here we carry on. So I feel like it's almost like it's not that you're stuck or anything like that, but it's just that you prefer to look at things from a different angle from everyone else, because it allows more ability to see it properly. So with the 3 of Pentacles, I feel like you're having to learn to collaborate with people and work with other energies, because you might often like to be alone or work on your own or work from your own perspective. But Spirit is asking you to collaborate a little bit more. And with this Death and Rebirth in reverse, it can often mean resistant to change. But I don't believe it's like that in the context of all these cards. I believe that the change has already happened within you. And the changes that you've let go of things that no longer serve you, or you're letting go of burdens, and you've had to change that. And you might have actually done a lot of your healing in secret or in private. You may have kept a lot of the changes that have been happening to yourself and changing and evolving under covers or under wraps. That's why everything is under, upside down, turned over, under. Everything's been sort of kept under wraps because that's how you like it. You're quite private about the emotional space, about the way you see things as well. Not so much see things. I feel like you talk directly. Don't get me wrong, but you're also private about, you know, how you move about in the world. You know, you don't often share. Like there's very few people that you would trust to just bear it all too. That's like that. So with me, I feel like the Death card was just a symbol that you keep things to yourself. But you're still looking, you know, you look into the eyes of the hooded thing, you're still looking up. You're still looking up. And you might be going through some stuff. You might be having to heal some old stuff. Not old stuff, but just situations that are in your life, physical life. You may be having to bring a lot of healing to those spaces, but still looking up, still feeling connected to Spirit, still choosing the right path for you. And that's just a more positive mindset happening So, I mean, that's all I'm getting right now. So thank you, Onyx. Hopefully that made sense. A little bit all over the show, but I liked it. I liked it because it's very different for you. Very different energy to your energy to other people's. And I kind of like that authenticity to how you see things. It's almost like you stay true to you. You know, because I'm getting that song, in good times and bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore. That's what friends are for. Like, you know, like your integrity and how you stand true to yourself is important. You know, I like that. Not everybody has the balls to be like that. And I say balls. Stand their ground and be themselves truthfully. Through the good and bad. Everything nice. Yeah, me too. I like that. For me, we actually changed it to whānau. That's what whānau's for. And we sing that. Thank you. Wow, awesome. Thank you, Onyx. Okay, everything nice? Okay, you're my lucky last. Sorry, guys, that have just come in. But seriously, I've got to get my stuff sorted. Thank you. Thank you for the likes, guys. Okay, here we go. Everything nice. I'm just going to do a good shuffle. One more. And then I'm going to tap it and knock at the door of your spiritual house, and all you have to do is open the door. Alright. You see what your current energy is? Anything else? Okay. You got a lot going on. I'm going to say a lot. There's a lot of cards. So, okay. So, these came out clumps, but they generally they're one energy that want to come out because it's more complicated than that, but trying to keep it simple. So here we have the Two of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords, and the Three of Pentacles coming together. And then the Page of Swords and the Two of Swords. Oh, sorry, Page of Cups and the Two of Swords. And what you may not be aware of was the Queen of Cups upright. So here we go. How do I describe this? It feels like there's layers to it, that's all. And it's trying to find the right words. Because as soon as I start saying it, because I'm trying to be gentle with you. So I could literally read what the cards mean, but I want to energetically read and intuitively respond to this energy that's showing itself to me. So, okay, it starts with situations. There are situations that you're not sure about that you want to bring the truth to. Three of Pentacles can be about learning and teaching and collaborating. It can mean many things to different people. But I feel like there's a process that you've been going through, something you've been trying to calculate. I'm seeing pros and cons. Pros and cons about somebody, something, or someplace, situation. Whether or not this person is for you or against you. Now, a lot of this can be about where you hold yourself and the way you value yourself. Because what's hidden from you is your value. The Queen of Cups. You know? Her intuitive knowing, her nourishment, her love. Her connection with her emotions, her balance. And I feel like for you, there's messages that are coming in or people coming into your energy that you're not sure about. You have a very strong distrust for people, and it's almost like I want to say you like to suss them out. Now this is something that we say in New Zealand, where we suss people out first before we can talk or trust them, is that we try to get to know them or try to understand who they are and their connections. And it's sort of like for you, And it's not that, if this makes sense, I'm sorry, it's just coming out and I'm just trying to grab what seems relevant, because there's a lot of, it's like a lot of different voices talking at me at the same time. So I don't know, I can't discern if they're your voice or the voices in your head. Okay, because a lot of it for me is this that keeps poking out. So with the Ace of Swords, it is usually a truthful new beginning, but in the same respect, paired up with the Two of Pentacles and Three of Pentacles, it's either an upward cycle or a downward spiral. So you may fluctuate a lot with going up and down in the way you think about yourself and what you see in your world to be truthful. And it's almost like a pendulum swinging, like literally here with the Two of Pentacles, pendulum swinging. There's why pros and cons to your energy. But I don't know if you're assessing someone else or in the same respect assessing yourself. So here with the Page of Cups, this can also mean an honest or truthful message coming forward. It can be initiation into spiritual energy or intuition. But paired up with this Two of Swords, which usually is a no card, but how I see it is that learning to trust and discern the messages coming in. So it's learning to sit back and actually sit with the energy and trust it. So it's, for me, it's about intuition. You want to know more, especially teamed up with the Queen of Cups. You want to know if what you're thinking is right and that you can trust your gut instinct about people. Because I feel like you're just someone that likes to suss people out. And I can't think of any other word other than suss. That is the only word that comes forward. But you have a very investigative mind. I feel like you're very articulate about things that you're passionate about. And I feel that you often get caught up in mind loops. So in replaying scenarios with people. So do you play out scenarios in your mind about meeting people or talking to them or conversations? Because I feel like that's on that communicative space, but also in the thinking space. So you may be trying to communicate or initiate. I just feel like I felt someone step into your energy when I said that. So it feels like you might have someone that you like, that you want to approach, but also not sure. So Two of Swords can also indicate an insecurity to step forward or to send a message of love or to approach someone in a way that you'd like to date them. Or if someone has approached you to date, whether or not you could trust that. So I feel like it swings. The pendulum swings. But here with the Queen of Cups, know that you can trust your intuition. Know that you can trust yourself. And when you get heart-centered, because the Queen of Cups is heart-centered, she's emotional. She's the emotion side. But she brings balance to it. She trusts in her intuition. She trusts in herself and how she feels about things. And I think you need to get out of your head and into your heart. Straight up. Get out of your head, get into your heart. Because it's your heart that has the honest filter and how you can make decisions in your life. Your mind, like I said, like when I heard all these voices coming at me and giving me different scenarios, your mind will always talk in scenarios and what ifs, maybes, can do, can't do. Whereas your heart will say, this is how it is. The steady flow. And you need to tap into that more if you're going to be trying to trust yourself more. Tap into the heart space. Open up that heart chakra and get to know who you are. We just got to bring in some spiritual guidance. Sorry if that came out forceful. I felt that. That question all sorts. Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Your spiritual guidance is here. Alright, excuse me when I bend over and pick it up. Oh. Oh. So you have the Empress energy with the Chariot and the Eight of Cups. So don't mind her being pregnant. I mean, you know, it's not so much about pregnancy, though if there's a possibility, it could be for you. But a lot of that is about being abundant with ideas, you know, with creativity, with abundance, being connected. So I think for you, your spiritual guidance is to remember who you are and know that you have the energy and the power to move mountains. That's how it's coming out, because I wouldn't usually say that. but you can actually shift and change things the way you want. The Empress has gone through a lot of stuff. She's been all the queens, she's been all the pages, and she's been all the suits of the cards. She's been all of it. And now she's moved into her Empress energy because she's earned that right to sit at that throne and to govern over with her Emperor, sorry. But she does it in a way that's gentle and feminine and loving and nourishing. So you have to understand that for you to really step into this Queen of Cups energy, you actually have to be nourishing to yourself, to your body, to your world, which is more about, you know, your physical life. And here with the Chariot and the Eight of Cups, because I'm going to say this, I'm just going to say it straight out, what doesn't resonate with you won't stick. If someone isn't serious about you, they won't stay. They won't show you the time and attention that you need. They won't give you the time that you need to create a loving relationship. And when you move in a way that's more about, for you it's balance, that yin and yang, understanding who you are inside and out, you're able to detach from things with Eight of Cups walking away. It's all like, I'm walking away from the drama in my life. I'm walking away to find a better day. Sorry, I didn't want to sing it properly. But it's like that. It's to find a better way through all this. Woo. It's understanding your own power, your own intention forward, and then letting go of that which holds you back and move towards that which resonates with you as a person. Yes. There's just a lot of self-discovery happening in your life, in your energy, that wants to know. Yeah. It's, you know, and I'm going to just be honest, a lot of it is your own insecurity. This up and downward spiral, overthinking, overanalyzing, and not actually learning to be present. You may have had situations in the past where it's not worked out well for you, which is why you have this. You may have some type of trauma, or memory that plays over the top of your thinking mind, and you want to love. Let's just put it that you have a lot of love to give with that Queen of Cups, but always met with the Page. Now the Page doesn't need, the Page and the Queen ain't on the same levels. Let's just put it like that. And then here with that Two of Swords, if it's not about intuitive space, which I feel like it is, I feel like you need to trust your intuition. And I know a lot of people say that, trust your intuition, but it's more about learning to trust you to make the right decisions, okay? For these messages of love coming in, or these people coming in, but also understanding that you are an Empress and you need a Chariot to, and a Chariot is someone that works with you towards a triumphant beginning. That's why I said anybody that isn't there for you or doesn't resonate with you, they will not stick, they will not stay, they will move, they won't give you that time and energy that you need. And the Empress needs that. She needs time, she needs energy and effort, and she needs someone that wants to work towards victory, the same page, the same goals. And if it doesn't work out, you need to also learn that you can move away from that as well. All the power is in your hands, not in other people's hands. And it's learning about taking back your power and having that for you to move forward in your life. Yeah. And it's knowing yourself inside and out. Get connected to your heart space. Because the thing is, and I say this a lot, the most important relationship that you can have in your life ever, especially when it comes to love, is the relationship that you have with yourself. If you can't love you, no one will know how to love you. It is the truth. No one will know how to love you and give you the love that you need if you don't even know what it is. So learn your love language and then find someone that speaks it, speaks to your love and understands it and nurtures it, because you deserve that. All right? Hopefully that makes sense and brings some kind of light. Okay, guys, I'm going to have to stop now and have a bit of a downtime now. Feeling a little bit tired, so thank you very much. Yeah, love yourself. Love yourself first. That's important. Thank you for that. As you know, as Hawani knows, and Hawani's been with me for a few years now and doing this, she knows that I will always say that the most important relationship that you have is with yourself. And when you actually do love yourself, 100%, the right people come in for you and they want to love you the way that you need. All right, guys? So I give you lots of love, everybody out there, and have a great evening, day, afternoon. Until next time, when I randomly pop up on your feed, come in, say hello. All right, guys? Take care. Bye. Oh, where do I turn this? Bye, guys. It's okay. It's okay, everything nice. Just come and see me next time. No worries.